won't back down.
That's a good song. The next one gets a little intense, but you know, it's a message, I suppose. Just a little buffer. How you doing? I know, right? How apropos that it's the Won't Back Down song, and then it buffers. I'm here. My name's Grant Smith Ellis. Well, it's, what is it? Any given Tuesday, so ProctorGate has expanded again. Yep, we have the Sean Goode report. Yes, it's horrifying. Listen. I went through and I removed all the slurs. It took a long time. It's even worse than you think. I can't even believe some of the stuff that I was reading in there, and I'm sure I didn't even catch it all. So yes, this is ProctorGate round 5, if you're just getting caught up. ProctorGate started, I don't know, about 4 weeks ago now. Who the hell knows? Time doesn't matter anymore. Everything's irrelevant, apparently, in terms of time. But my point is, it was about 4 weeks ago. Karen Reed. There's 4 civil cases related to John O'Keefe's death. Karen Reed was acquitted of John O'Keefe's death criminally in June of 2025. It was the second trial. There's 4 civil cases. One of them, Karen filed in Bristol County. That one went up to federal court. That's a cluster F of its own, okay? It's confusing. Karen sued the state police, 3 of them that investigated her in that case. Michael Proctor, Erie Buchanan, Brian Tully, and then the Ham defendants, as they're colloquially known, Brian Higgins, the McCabe's, the Alberts. All right. Then you got another case, all right, filed by John O'Keefe's family in Plymouth Superior Court in front of Judge Gildea, all right? Then you got another case filed by the Ham defendants against Karen in Barnstable Court, Superior Court, so not District, Superior, that then was moved sua sponte by the trial court to Plymouth Superior Court, to Judge Gildea. Then you got a 4th case that Karen filed in Bristol against the town of Canton and the Massachusetts State Police for negligent hiring and retention of Michael Proctor and Sean Goode, 2 of the investigators involved in the investigation of John O'Keefe's death that led to Karen's acquittal. Okay, about 4 weeks ago, in that last case, okay, the one Karen filed in Bristol that's still in Bristol, Karen revealed to the world ProctorGate, okay, which were Michael Proctor's messages with 7 of his buddies in Canton. They were cops. They were, not doing a great job at their job. They were very virulent bigots. Mr. Proctor was a virulent bigot. His buddies were virulent bigots. Some of them had badges and guns. Some of them no longer have badges and guns, etc. That group chat included a man by the name of former Sergeant Sean Goode. Now, Sean Goode was subject to an internal investigation by the town of Canton. Now, that report has just been revealed in the past, 10 minutes. All right? Now, it's on the town of Canton's website. I got the PDF up there for you, and we're going to read it. Now, a couple things to keep in mind. One, I do not condone in any way, shape, or form any of this language other than the administrative, maybe summaries of the various findings. I do not condone the language. I condemn it in explicit terms. It's disgusting. It's abhorrent. You're also going to find out about further police incidents involving Sean Goode while he was on duty. All right, and I saw Helena Rafferty's name come up in the document. Indeed, we're going to do a reading. Now, I wanted to watch the Germany versus Portugal game in 33 minutes. Do I think I can read this in 33 minutes? No. I'm going to do a lot of yelling. So Towel Girlfriend, you're wonderful. She's going to keep me updated on the score if the game starts. All right. Let's do it. This is going to be ridiculous. Today was absurd. Do you understand how absurd today has already been with the felony charges coming out about Meredith O'Neill after the probable cause was found by the magistrate, and that chaos, and then Kate Peter and my mom? You don't understand. I knew that was coming. I was waiting. I was just waiting for someone to drop it and trying to find out what they were going to drop it to distract from. I guess I wasn't worthy of distracting from Proctor. I was only worthy of distracting from Meredith. I'm not that big of a player, I suppose. I'm just a little towel. Anyway, my point is, did a great interview with Law Girls Not Attorneys this morning at about 7:30. That was a great interview. Talked a lot about various things that's been going on. And then we get ProctorGate out of nowhere, ladies and gentlemen. It's like that RKO that the man does on the Modern Wrestling. I don't know, Randy Orton, whatever his name is. ProctorGate out of nowhere. You don't understand. I was on the phone with Towel Girlfriend. I saw ProctorGate files dropped. I immediately said, I got to go live. I love you dearly, Towel Girlfriend. And she was like, go. And so now we're doing it. All right. That gave you enough time. Here we go. This was a hell of a crazy day. I've lived through some days. I've covered a war. This was intense. It was wild. There were a lot of things going on, and I have things to say. So anyway, my name's Grant Spatellis. Thanks for tuning in. Let's get to reading. Listen, the news barely had time to write this up. It only came out 9 minutes ago. All right, hashtag Towel News. Hello to all my towel friends. It's great to see you all. All right. Oh, Squirrel says hashtag Team Grant. Oh, I love that squirrel emoji. Oh my goodness, it's a squirrel emoji. God bless you. That is the greatest squirrel emoji of all time. Hold on. SQWERL. The greatest squirrel emoji is spelled with a J, Grant, of all time. I just have to say thank you to Squirrel. That was so kind. My new favorite way to get the news. Monty, hello, welcome to the channel. Good to see you all. I'm so glad we're going to do this reading together. People probably weren't expecting this. Came out of nowhere. Let's do it. I have questions. I want to, again, disclaim as people are coming in, this is going to involve material that is abhorrent, that is virulent, that is grotesque. A few months later, in January of 2014, a fundraiser with Kevin Albert, the Canton cop, also connected to the John O'Keefe and Sandra Birchmore cases, for John O'Keefe's double orphaned niece and nephew at the time. John's sister died in November of 2013. John's brother-in-law died in January of 2014. And then that cop on the ProctorGate messages is the guy hosting a fundraiser for John's kids at his gym with Kevin Albert in 2014, the same gym that Michael Proctor and Yuri Buchanan worked out at in recent years. Yeah, that's ProctorGate. Hello, Tony. Good to see you all. Welcome. I think someone's asking me if I'm live now. I don't normally respond to messages while I'm live. All right, let's go. We have a document to read. I'm a towel. Hi, Kim. Good to see you. This is by MJ Myers Consulting. We're going to have to look into them. Hopefully it's straight up. It seems to be pretty straight up. But then again, I thought the Five Stones things was straight up until you look beneath the surface. I doubt they're going to pull that one again, though. There's too many eyes on this. Please, Dixie Normus, John Cormeo's probably going to lose his mind. He's going to run around in circles. Yo entiendo español también, por supuesto. Necesitas entiendes todas las palabras en este documento en español o inglés. Yo soy tu toalla. Sí, soy un toalla. We have, ProctorGate has expanded. We have new Sean Good files. It is just released. Let's begin. All right, I'm going to do this personally. This report is the result of an investigation into allegations of misconduct regarding Town of Canton Police Sergeant Sean Goode. Sergeant Goode, on or about October 24th, 2025, interim police chief Joseph Perkins was informed by the Norfolk District Attorney's Office of concerning and problematic text messages potentially demonstrating bias uncovered during an investigation allegedly made and sent by Sergeant Goode. Wait a minute. 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 What does that word investigation mean? What are you talking about? The reason why Michael Proctor had to turn over his phone was because of Judge Doolin. Well, it was Judge Krupp, but then modified. Judge Doolin issued an order compelling Michael Proctor to turn those records over. So tell me right now, who did an investigation? What are you talking about? Are you equivocating on the word investigation? Are you saying they parsed through? Because that word investigation is very, I'm concerned. Uncovered during an investigation by who? And for what purpose? Complying with Judge Doolin's order is not an investigation. You could argue, and why I have to read more, it's not a smoking gun. Because you could argue that to comply with Judge Doolin's order, you had to investigate the phone. But that's a big word. That's a big word to use. Oh, we might have some buffering. Hold on. Should be better now. That is a big word to use. That is a very, very big word to use. An investigation by who? Hello, towel girlfriend. You are a towel. Investigation. Investigation of whom and by whom? You don't investigate to comply with an order. You comply with an order. Let me know if the buffering has calmed down. Should be all calm now, but you let me know. But yeah, excuse me, who was uncovered during an investigation by who? The Norfolk County District Attorney's Office was investigating? No. They were complying with Judge Doolin's order. Who the hell was investigating? It's water under the fridge. Oh, good. The buffering is settled. That can sometimes just be my satellite. It is the great defender of the Great Lakes. God bless you, my friend. ProctorGate has expanded. Water under the fridge protects the Great Lakes from the Iranians. He upholds our blockade. The Iranians are going to come in through Canada. It's a long story. He also protects the goats. We love water under the fridge. All right, so can I just harp on this for just a few more minutes? I cannot believe that the word investigation is used right there, because if you know the relevant facts, at least as of right now, ooh, a flow state. Gotta love a flow state. Thank you, Dee Dee Thames. Oh, my dear friend Dee Dee Thames is here. How you doing? Listen. I need to know. Maybe they'll tell us. Maybe they'll... Now, remember, when they're talking in the introduction, there's a subsequent investigation that's going to happen of Goode by Canton. We're not talking about that yet. We're talking about on or about October 24th, 2025, as a result of Judge Doolin's order compelling Michael Proctor to turn over his cell phone. That's where ProctorGate came from. Who was investigating Michael Proctor at that point? You could argue that to comply with Judge Doolin's order, you might have had to review the files, but as far as I know, nobody was investigating Michael Proctor in the fall of 2025. That would certainly be news to me. Welcome, Dog Mom. We love dogs on this channel. Oh, Mr. Monks, that's our great penguin emoji. Towel Mom. Lynn loves penguins. All right, let's continue. So, already, we have a serious question. For those of you who know the facts in this case, your attention, your bat signals, your towel signals should be blaring right now. What does that word mean in that specific context? We're talking October 24th, 2025. What was the Norfolk DA doing, if it was them, to investigate Michael Proctor? You are a towel, Marguerite. It's so good to see you. How have you been? So, yeah, that's news. I wish I could sit here and tell you I know what that's referring to. I don't. That's a mystery word. And you don't want the word investigation in the context of this case to be a mystery word. People are going to jump all over that. I don't even know what that means. I normally can tell you immediately what something means because I know all the context. I have no idea what that word investigation means there. Uh-oh. Somebody's in trouble. Not really sure for what. 1 second. Oh. Give me 1 second while I continue. Allegedly made and sent by Sergeant Goode. So they're investigating someone, the Norfolk DA, just so you understand that paragraph. They come across, so it's probably Proctor. They come across, or someone, let me actually rephrase that. The Norfolk DA informed the Canton, the town of Canton, the chief of police, about these texts. But it says, notice, potentially demonstrating bias uncovered during an investigation. It doesn't say by whom. And it doesn't imply that it's by the Norfolk District Attorney's Office. That is a hell of a sentence. Oh my God, why would you write that? If you could use any word but investigation there, you would. This is kind of a limited hangout, I can already tell, but who was investigating who? And why did they get Proctor's messages? And what does that have to do with complying with Judge Doolin's order? My word. I didn't think it could get more intense. Now, we're moving to something else. All right? Because remember, that word investigation is referring back to the fall of 2025, prior to the town of Canton getting alerted about the messages. The town retained this investigator, so now we're talking about a separate investigation, to determine whether Sergeant Goode's texts and other messages amounted to violations of applicable town policies and town police department rules and regulations. Summary of allegations and scope of investigation. On October 24th, 2025, through conversations with Norfolk County District Attorney Michael Morrissey, Chief Perkins was made aware of concerning and problematic text messages uncovered during a separate investigation into Massachusetts State Police Trooper Michael Proctor. Oh my God. Wait a minute. This can't mean what I think it means. Oh my God. You must understand. You must understand. You must understand. No, listen to me. I need to compose my thought. No, listen to me. Ostensibly, oh, this is a big deal. Ostensibly, okay, these messages came from Judge Doolin ordering Michael Proctor to comply with a Rule 14 subpoena. I don't even think it was Rule 17. Might have been Rule 17. Might have been Rule 14. That's not really relevant. In the Miles King frame drop. Stabilize. Frame drop. So many frames. Frame drop. All right, listen. I know. Why do I know this? Because I know exactly when the order was issued by Judge Doolin. That was August. It was August. So who was investigating State Police Trooper Michael Proctor? Who? Well, it wasn't Michael Morrissey. And why did Michael Morrissey have to personally tell Chief Perkins? I want to know. Oh my goodness, what is about to happen? I can't even believe it. No way it's actually going to happen. That would be so wild. That would be the craziest thing I've ever seen in my life. You know, Leah Foley strikes me as the type of person who probably doesn't like misogyny. I just want to say, I've never met her. She just strikes me as the type of person who probably doesn't like misogyny. I'm just saying. Well. How interesting. How very, very interesting. I shall write this up. Will you pray my indulgence while I write this up? How interesting indeed. I knew it. I got one paragraph and we haven't even got to the most vile stuff, trust me. And we already have blown the lid off this damn thing. Oh my word. I can't believe what's happening. I didn't think I could ever be surprised again by this case. I'm stunned. No. In October, according to the new Sean Goode report from the town of Canton, on October 24th, 2025, Michael, the Norfolk DA, Michael Morrissey, personally informed Canton Police Chief Perkins that Michael Proctor's messages were revealed as part of a separate investigation. By whom? Wow. Just wow. That was the last thing I was expecting. I thought we were just going to read about the most vile... I was preparing myself to have to read about like the most vile words possible. Instead we get that. No, I thought these came from an order from Judge Doolin. Excuse me. Excuse me? I thought the ProctorGate messages were revealed due to an order in the Miles King case from Judge Doolin. Well. Ladies and gentlemen, you see before you a towel who after 3 years thought he could not be shocked anymore by this case, the twists and turns. I'm shocked. I'm actually shocked. I don't even know what to make of this. That's just not what I thought happened. I was convinced this case, and it did obviously come in part from Judge Doolin's order, but Judge Doolin's order did not require anyone to investigate anything. Wow. All right, I've composed myself. I just can't believe what I've just read. I read most of the document, but I was reading it because I thought it is an expansion of ProctorGate. I didn't know it, and you have to really know the history of how these messages came to light to read between the lines here. What did this investigator find out? Oh my goodness, he doesn't go into detail. The implications of this are astounding. Later that day, in person, Chief Perkins was shown several text messages allegedly sent by Sergeant Goode that were in fact offensive, related to a variety of protected categories under the law and town policies, and in some cases directly related to his work as a Canton police officer, Chief Perkins was further presented, footnote 1, with a sample of recorded voice notes, which he confirmed to contain Sergeant Goode's voice. Footnote 1. As with all of the materials shown and presented to Chief Perkins in person on October 24th, 2025, the District Attorney's Office did not allow Chief Perkins to make copies, take pictures, or otherwise leave the office with materials related to the group chats or the information therein. In December of 2025, selected portions of the group chat text message data were provided by the Norfolk DA directly to counsel for the town. BB Egan has just started a membership parade, so if your name is NEM, Nee Taylor, La Host Mom, or Linda Crowder, that's so wonderful, or what's the last name there, Caroline K, enjoy your new towel memberships at the very generous behest of the one and only BB Egan. Thank you for your support of Towel Channel. You all have now unlocked emojis. We have, we have various types of towel emojis. Just to take a moment to thank BB Egan here. We have penguin emojis. We have Towel Mom bunnies, dog Kofi. We have goat emojis. We have Boozy Beauty, who is the 400-foot tall Queen of France. She's made of baguettes. She's an emoji. We have a sheep emoji. We have a stuffed marshmallow man emoji. Basically, we just have a lot of various fun emojis you can now use. Ruth, hello. Thank you for joining the channel. Allow me to add you. 1 second. There you go. Enjoy your towel wrench. All right. Now, it's going to get a little bumpy here on Air Towel. So we got through like the most explosive revelation procedurally. I still don't. This could be the Federal Protective Order. This could be, woo, awesome. Oh, Caroline, I'm thrilled that you're here. This could be the Federal Protective Order. It could be Judge Doolin's order. Frankly, I have no idea at this point what's going on. And that's saying something. I'm supposed to be the man who knows what's going on. That's why they call me Towel. Anyway, so yeah, that was a bombshell introduction. Now let's see where it goes from here. On December 10th, 2025, the Norfolk District Attorney's Office provided the town's counsel, Clifford and Kenny, LLP, and later this investigator, with over 200,000 text messages, photos, voice notes, videos, and memes dating as far back as 2013. Bro, do they even know how to meme? Are you telling me Michael Proctor knows how to meme? Bro, that's not what I was expecting out of all of this. I didn't think Michael Proctor knew how to meme. Bro, come on. Michael Proctor knows how to meme? Are you kidding me? That's outrageous. Who taught Michael Proctor how to meme? What is wrong with the world? Listen, what would Chloe the dog in the wig think? Chloe the dog in a wig. What would she think of Michael Proctor memeing? How's that for a meta insight for you? Michael Proctor doesn't know how to meme. Hashtag Michael Proctor doesn't know how to meme. So anyway, my point is, okay, it turns out here's ProctorGate for you. It's 200,000 text messages, including photos, voice notes, videos, and memes, dating as far back as 2013. A majority of the messages in the tranche of data provided to counsel and this investigator are contained within 2 group chats, each containing between 3 to 10 individuals, depending on the chat and year reviewed. We thought it was only 8. There's up to 10. ProctorGate has expanded these messages. Photos, videos, voice notes, and memes contain a multitude of correspondences authored by Sergeant Goode expressing objectively racist, misogynistic, anti-Semitic, homophobic, and other offensive crude comments. At the direction of the town of Canton, the scope of this investigation is limited to addressing the allegations of whether Sergeant Goode's alleged texts and messages amounted to violations of applicable town and or department policies, rules, and regulations. Now, that's a big deal. That's a big deal. We now have the scope of ProctorGate. Oh my word. The scope of ProctorGate has been fully revealed, and it's bigger than anyone could have imagined. Oh, goodness. I can't believe it. I just can't believe it. No. The full scope of ProctorGate has been revealed, and it is more massive than anyone could have imagined. There were 10 people, not 8, on Michael Proctor's various text chains. There are 200,000 just wow than anyone imagined. I'm just stunned. You're looking at the start of the fall. That's why they're freaking out. Oh, it's bigger than anyone thought. It's 200,000. And we knew it was 200,000 messages, but it's everything. Voice notes, videos, memes. Oh, God. It's going to bring them all down. It's bigger. It could be. It's not the Epstein files, but it's big. My word. That's ProctorGate for you right there. I mean, it's also up here, but it's right here. This is how it started. We don't really know what this means. Something, I think, like, this guy, this investigator, is probably, like, subject to a protective order. Frankly, I can't tell from who, but he's writing in this very circumspect way to balance the equities of public interest, and then whatever the hell this guy knows that he's not allowed to talk about. This man, I'm gonna guess this man's carrying a pretty heavy weight on his shoulders, whoever the hell this is that wrote this thing. I kind of feel bad for him. Just these 3 paragraphs have so much between the lines. Oh my God, what does this man know? Somebody keep this man safe. Keep him away from all of the private intelligence firms connected to the various people that the feds are investigating. Protect this man. Put him with Adam Deitch. Hashtag protect this man. All right. I'm gonna get mad. Kofi, I'm gonna get mad. I'm gonna get all mad. Oh no. Documents reviewed. This is why everybody lost their mind today. It wasn't just Meredith's felony charge getting probable cause by the magistrate. It's not good. You don't want a felony on your record. I don't know what's going to happen there. You can't really plead down illegal interception of an oral communication, but that's just my opinion. I'm not a lawyer. Well, I thought it was that, bruh. I really did. I'm being very direct with you in my Southern man voice. I thought it was that. I was like, why would Kate Beta and my mother and Michael Proctor burn like one of their assets over Meredith? That's so dumb. Oh, it was way bigger than Meredith. Oh my word, I understand what happened now. Oh, the feds are coming. I hope the feds know. You know, I hope they're like, we should protect that little Tao. He's being tormented. Somebody invaded his house. They probably got a little mad at me for the Kathy Rumler thing. I'm sorry. I just don't like people that hurt the children, you know? Yeah, you gotta forgive little Tao. They did a good job with the war. Did good coverage of that. So, you know, I hope the feds are like, yeah, you know, he's kind of in the thick of it right now. We should probably protect that little Tao. You know, just saying. Anyway, so thank you so much, Danny Mount Angel. What a wonderful name. Welcome to Towel Channel. Enjoy your towel emojis. So here's what the investigator reviewed. It's about to get rough. No pun intended. Hashtag free Chloe. Sergeant Goode's report, submitted to intern Chief Perkins, dated October 23rd, 2025. His report? What did he report about? Notice of paid administrative leave issued to Sergeant Goode, October 24th, 2025. Report to file 2512, written by Chief Perkins, dated October the 28th, 2025. Norfolk Superior Court, protective order, dated October 4th, 2025. I mean, December 4th, 2025. But wait a minute. That wasn't in place in October. Maybe the protective order was expanded? But what was the original protective order? And who was investigating Michael Proctor? Oh, there's something hiding from me in this document, and I have concerns. There's something missing here. Things aren't adding up. But, it's not adding up in a good way. It's not adding up in the kind of way where, like, somebody has to hold something back to not compromise ongoing investigatory activities. Oh, yeah. The Dark Passenger. Oh, God bless you, my friend. Grant was right with a wonderful little towel emoji. I love everything about it. Yeah, there's something off. There's something missing here between, I'd say, like, October 20-something, maybe August of 2023. I know there was Judge Doolin's order, but what happened between then and... You know what? How much do you want to bet? And I've suspected this for a long time. Hi, Tiffany Bob. Hi, Tiffany Bob's mom. Tiffany Bob's mom is wonderful. Tiffany Bob's wonderful. Shut up, Tiffany Bob. Now, listen. I've long suspected, and I know a lot of you are going to be like, Grant, you were right. Listen, I've suspected for many a moon that what actually happened was the feds had these records the whole time. Because, bruh, it's the feds. And I think, inductively, when Michael Proctor lied to Judge Doolin, remember his lawyer in July of 2025 twice said that he didn't have any of these messages. I think the feds swooped. I think they were like, hey, Judge Doolin, he's lying. The bastard's lying. And then Judge Doolin was like, hey, why don't you try turning over all your records again? Yes, I think I got it. The records exist in parallel. Listen, I think the feds got him. They baited Proctor into a perjury trap. Proctor lied to Judge Doolin. They had to get Judge Krupp out of there. Judge Krupp was... no comment. The records exist in parallel. The feds had him and forced Proctor to produce a copy of them. That's my opinion. Jay, I know who you actually are, right? I have a very long memory, so I think you're a, chaos agent. I'm sorry. I hate to be so blunt. I'm a tad. Anyway, let's continue. So there's something missing here. In particular, about the fall of 2023. And whatever that investigation was of Michael Proctor that turned up the messages in question related to ProctorGate. This was not because Michael Proctor, after lying to Judge Doolin twice, found it in the good of his heart to be able to turn these over, because he finally had an epiphany that the third time Judge Doolin was really serious. No. Nonsense. Nonsense. Something's coming. I don't know what. All I know is the U.S. Attorney's Office seems to be on some kind of vengeance tour. And I really hope they get these guys. People around them were mean. So, that's my best theory. Wait, what happened? Oh. Yeah, we definitely gotta ban them, Bunny Towel. Did we already ban them? Yeah. No, we can hide them. They can't come back. Yeah, oh yeah, it's the Sean Good files. I thought it was Meredith. How naive of me. Like, I know they, in my opinion, like, that was an important, like, role that she played and all that. So I understand, but they don't care that much. Come on. It's definitely the good stuff. It's 100% this report. They were freaked out. They knew it was coming. And it's as bad as you can imagine, which is why we're going to read it. It's driving them wild right now that I'm reading this. Hashtag I won't back down. Policy 4.28. He also reviewed professional conduct, privacy, and off-duty conduct I'm becoming. One second. Hold on 1 second. I'll figure that out in a minute, but I understand. To the person who brought a concern to my attention, I'll fix that in a minute. Just make a comment in the chat. All right, let's continue. The investigator reviewed professional conduct, privacy and off-duty conduct, conduct unbecoming, code of conduct, mobile data terminals, unlawful harassment discrimination policy, the rules and regulations manual, prohibited conduct, conduct unbecoming, insubordination, dissemination of official information. On October 20th, 2025, Sergeant Goode notified Chief Perkins that Mr. Proctor's group chats and or messages were recently discovered as part of an investigation into Proctor. Hello? Hello? Ding, ding, ding. Ding, 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 ding. Look who won the pony. Got it. Checkmate. Got him. The sunshine has arrived. How apropos. Interesting, Towel Girlfriend. You're still that kind of moderator, so I don't know. I'll look into it later. Maybe they changed the way it works. Oh, goodness. There it is. There's the winner. Sergeant Goode received word from Mr. Proctor that Sergeant Goode's messages were included in those chats. Chief Perkins ordered Sergeant Goode to write a report detailing his understanding of what would be revealed in these group chats. According to Chief Perkins' report from October 28, 2025, Sergeant Goode advised him in part of the following. Proctor advised Sergeant Goode that some of the questionable inappropriate text messages may have been exchanged between him and Goode. Sergeant Goode stated he could not provide specifics to me at that time due to his lack of recall of any questionable text between him and Proctor. Sergeant Goode's only specific recollection was a joking comment about slavery reparations. Chief Perkins, report to file. Who was investigating Michael Proctor in October of 2025? Oh, this is bigger than just what Goode said. Alright, who was investigating Michael Proctor of ProctorGate infamy in October of 2025? What is about to be revealed? I just can't believe it. And why did that investigation lead to the disclosure of these files? Why did that investigation lead to the disclosure of 200,000 messages between Proctor, Sean Goode, and others? Why did Judge Doolin's ruling also play into that? Did Judge Doolin's ruling come after that investigation? Just, wow. I just have no idea what to say. I can't believe it says it so openly. Normally they try to hide the ball. It says it straight up. Who was investigated? It says an investigation into Michael Proctor. Let me just be very clear. You don't have to investigate someone to comply with a court order to turn over material under Rule 17. That's not what that means. Someone was investigating him and found these files. This is very big. And he said it twice. This guy who looked into Goode said it twice. There's something big bubbling under the surface. On October 23rd, 2025, Sergeant Goode provided a written report regarding the concerning text exchanges. Sergeant Goode wrote to Chief Perkins in part, "There were messages between Mr. Proctor, myself, and 5 other friends from the period between June 2020 to October 2023. I was not able to recover earlier messages. I did not review every message in the thread and limited my focus to the messages I had authored. My messages in this thread were primarily related to my personal political views and opinions. Example, Trump, Biden." Oh. Hello, Nunya. You. Hello, Spacey118, my dear friend. Hello, Interpreter Owl. Hello, Linda. On October 24th, 2025, Chief Perkins was notified by Norfolk County Assistant District Attorney Lisa Beatty about the concerning text messages. Was it Morrissey or Lisa Beatty? It's both, apparently. Because remember, there were 2 meetings that day. Chief Perkins reported in person to the Norfolk County DA's office to view the messages that same day. Chief Perkins reported the following. I heard the voice of CPD Sergeant Sean Goode describing the following 3 incidents in separate audio cuts. Oh, here we go. A road rage incident at Legacy Place, which I think is in Dedham, involving a black female motorist off duty. Sergeant Goode described his masochistic interaction with the black female operator while using brash language, recounting the event to the other recipients. I was not provided any verifying data, date, time, source of the recording. Masochistic? I don't understand. Masochistic? What did he... Masochistic? The tendency to derive pleasure, especially sexual gratification or emotional fulfillment from one's own pain, suffering, or humiliation. What? So, I don't... Is it saying... So, like, he humiliated himself with her for sexual purposes? No, it means masochistic. And the definition of that is the tendency to derive pleasure, especially sexual gratification, from one's own pain, suffering, or humiliation. So, like, he got off because he did something to humiliate himself with the black female driver? No, he definitely meant masochistic. Now, you can't really misuse that word. It has a very specific meaning. And it doesn't say sadomasochistic, it says masochistic. I mean, they don't really say what he said, so I don't know, like, what you could do to have a masochistic interaction with a black female driver. Is he saying he, like, flashed the woman? I don't know. I don't know. I don't really know. I mean, how do you have a road rage incident where you, for sexual purposes, humiliate yourself with a black female driver as an off-duty white cop? I don't understand. My brain is breaking. What could he have done? Did he get out of the car in, like, a latex suit and be like, I'm sorry? You know, right, like, what did he say? Oh, God, why am I thinking about this? I feel very bad about thinking about this. I just want to understand. I hope they quote it, not because I want to read it, because I want to understand how you could do something masochistic during a road rage incident. I mean, what do you get out in a gimp suit? Seriously, what can you do to be masochistic during a road? Those words don't belong together. They don't. Those 2 words do not belong next to each other. A masochistic road rage incident. Oh, God. An interaction on, dude, this has reached the realm of the absurd. We're really in a Kafka novel. We got masochistic road rage interactions. We got cops engaging in masochistic road rage. They're wearing gimp suits, apparently. I'm not really sure. I really don't know. I'm very Tower girlfriend says that Goode asked the motorist to close the fingers on his door, get out and stand on him. Yeah, while wearing a gimp suit, obviously. An interaction, now moving to the... Listen, I don't know what you want me to do to analyze that. We reach new levels of depravity with some of this stuff every day, and I never, even in the like depths, I swear to you, of my like petrified horror about all this, did I ever think I'd have to explain to you what it means when someone during a road rage incident is masochistic. All right, it wasn't on my bingo card. How about that? All right. My word. An interaction. Moving on now. It was a good moon. Ah, yeah. Full moon over Dedham that night. Full moon over Parma. That Drew Carey theme song. Bring my love to me tonight. Bring her to Cleveland underneath the silvery light. I haven't watched Drew Carey show in like 20 years. It's a good show though. An interaction on duty, describing a hit... Yeah, Drew Carey show reference out of nowhere. How about that one? An interaction on duty, describing a, quote, hit-and-run investigation where the suspect came back to the scene, but Sergeant Goode chose to charge the suspect with leaving the scene, even though the suspect came back. I was not provided any verifying data, date, time, source of the recording. He falsely charged someone. Oh goodness. Oh boy. Oh yes, some of you are going to want to hang out when Towel Girlfriend and I do our tour around the US and the world. We're going to come hang out with you. It's going to be great. Towel Girlfriend is a genius, and she's so hilarious. She makes my heart sing. She's just great. She's like the greatest person ever. She's my person. 10 out of 10. She's great. I hope you all get to know her. She's wonderful. Oh, yeah. Let me write this up. Oh. Let me just write this up, if you wouldn't mind. Yes, we're going to have a towel dinner. It's going to be great. Okay, hold on. Let me write this up. I'm just reposting my YouTube live stream a lot. Oh, what's this? Sean Goode of ProctorGate infamy and of the John O'Keefe and Karen Reed case overcharged someone who returned to the scene of an accident and then told Michael Proctor about it in a voice note. Indeed. Yeah. I wonder what that person did wrong. It would be fascinating to find out. Where's Corey Hopkins? Corey Hopkins. Hashtag super lawyer Corey Hopkins. Corey Hopkins. We need you. We got a live one, Corey Hopkins. I'm gonna tag her. We got a live one. Marbury v. Madison is going to get lawyers for all these people. We found this black man that Michael Proctor pulled over just because he was black. He threw a cigarette out the window. Proctor used a slur after he pulled him over. We're going to find that man. We're going to get him justice. Marbury v. Madison's a super lawyer. You don't understand. We're going to get lawyers for all these people. It's going to be great. They don't even know that they were wronged. We're going to get them lawyers. That's why my dad was a class action litigator. He'd go tell these women with the breast implants that they were, harmed. They'd be like, I didn't know. He'd be like, I know. I found out. You're in the class. Let's go. All right, the next one. An interaction on duty. Describing a motor vehicle pursuit with a female. Sergeant Goode described the incident while using brash and unprofessional language. I was not provided any verifying data. Date, time, source of the recording. Interesting. Yes, Tower Girlfriend is a lawyer. She's very smart. Number 2. ADA Beatty then asked Tim. Tim is referenced in Chief Perkins' report as another member of the Norfolk County DA's office staff. Who's Tim? Who's Tim? Tim. County DA's office. Who's Tim? Anybody named Tim? Does anybody work for a man named Tim? Tim. Who is this man named Tim from the Norfolk DA's office? Attorney Timothy J. Shoegrove? Could it be Attorney Timothy J. Shoegrove? Shoegrove. Shugrue. Attorney, or could it be Attorney Timothy R. Flaherty? Looks like it might be Attorney Timothy J. Shoegrove. But, that's a puzzle piece. To show me 3 text messages, ADA Beatty then asked Tim, just identified as Tim, to show me 3 text messages. I did not notice that the years of these text messages were 2013 and 2014, between 2013 and 2014. One of the texts, the word N-word, was typed. One text contained C-word Jew, and in the third text, Sergeant Sean Goode was complaining about homosexuals. Chief Perkins, report to file. On October 24th, 2025, after reviewing the messages with ADA Beatty, Chief Perkins placed Sergeant Goode on administrative leave pending an internal investigation. The administrative letter stated, in part, please allow this correspondence to serve as formal notice that the town of Canton, is placing you on a paid administrative leave of absence, effective immediately, pending the outcome of an administrative investigation. The matters under investigation include allegations that you engaged in conduct that violated the department's rules, regulations, and policies, including conduct unbecoming an officer. Good notice of administrative leave. On December 4th, 2025, the Norfolk DA's office obtained a protective order from the Norfolk Superior Court pertaining to the text messages, allowing them to be provided to this investigator and viewed for this investigation. The court ordered, in part, I think it was Judge Dooley, but that was not the order that initially resulted in Proctor turning them over. This was after they're already turned over, okay? We don't really know what investigation led to them being turned over, frankly. Remember, that was October. Now we're in December, and Judge Doolin, I think, maybe Judge Krupp, orders a protective order so this investigator can see the text messages. But that's different than whatever led to the text messages coming about. Pursuant to Mass Rule of Criminal Procedure, paragraph 14.2g, it is hereby ordered as follows. 1. Counsel for the town of Canton and for the Peace Officers Standards and Training Commission, Post, may receive 1 copy of the files from Michael Proctor's cell phone determined to be discoverable under Mass Rule of Criminal Procedure 14. The discoverable materials. That's on the Miles King docket. Shout out Rosemary Scapicchio. The discoverable materials shall not be otherwise copied. Protective order dated 12/4/2025. Someone in Norfolk County must have really wronged Rosemary Scapicchio, because she is out to get justice apparently for everyone. And she was never Kevin Albert's lawyer. For some reason, Brian Tully and Adam Lally misrepresented that in an email chain. I don't know why. But somebody really peed off Rosemary Scapicchio, because she's the reason. You can say it's Karen, which it probably is, but the actual reason this all came out was through the Miles King docket. Well, let's be clear. On December 10th, 2025, it's actually the Miles King, Giovanni Dos Santos, Bianca Cianchinko, and Mr. Johnson. I don't remember his first name. It's a bunch of dockets. There's some drug ring. Miles King is in a federal prison right now, so he doesn't even come to the hearings anymore. But the other defendants on those dockets still do. Which goes to show, you want to do public justice work, sometimes, it's less about the client and it's more about the investigator. You see what I'm saying? Wink is as good as a nod to a blind man. I don't know what you're talking about. So anyway, my name is Grant Vitellis. I'm a towel. On December 10th, 2025, Clifford and Kenny, LLP, counsel for the town of Canton, received a copy of the data tranche from the Norfolk District Attorney's Office and provided the same to this investigator. Okay? Good job. Everybody did what they were supposed to do. Ah, yes, Tiffany Bob. Look who won the pony, and wink is as good as a nod to a blind man. Two very good phrases. Look who won the pony refers to a famous adage about from the wrestling days. There was this promoter in, I want to say, like Memphis, or at least the outlaw area of Memphis, Tennessee, and he would run these shows where he'd give away a pony to a member of the audience. And at the end of every show, his son would win the pony. So the phrase became, oh, wouldn't you know who won the pony? A wink is as good as a nod to a blind man. I don't really know where that word comes from. I just think it's a good saying. So, yeah. Alright, moving on to number 6. It's about to get rough, by the way. All this is very important context. Really it is, but it's going to get rough. Yes, Tiffany Bob, look who won the pony. The data provided by the Norfolk County District Attorney's Office contained over 200,000 messages and attachments, which consist of text messages, photos, videos, memes, and voice notes recovered from Mr. Proctor's phone for the purposes of a separate investigation. Dude. For the purposes of a separate investigation. Bingo. Bingo. Winner. You're here. You know how GTA 6 is coming out soon? And people said they made it to GTA 6? You made it. You made it to this moment. Oh, God is good. I knew it. This is about way more than John Goode. Oh, this file's explosive. And we're not even at the quotes yet. Are we back? That was the oddest thing I've ever seen. That was a little weird. But there you go. That was odd. We're back. Sorry for the buffering. If you get any buffering, just go back. Alright, sorry. There's all the chat. Sorry about that. I can't believe that was my computer, actually. It got a little overheated. I'm sorry. My computer's very old. You got to be patient with it. What is going on? I can't believe what I'm reading. This is it. 3 times now. This is in black and white. It's staring us in the face. It's screaming at us. I'll read the sentence again. The data provided by the Norfolk County District Attorney's Office contained over 200,000 messages and attachments, which consist of text messages, photos, videos, memes, and voice notes recovered from Mr. Proctor's phone for the purposes of a separate investigation. Boom. And furthermore, it was called Party Boys. Their group chat was called Party Boys. Oh my word. Ladies and gentlemen. Are you kidding me? Not again. What is going on? Alright, we're stable. I can't believe this. Every single thing that people thought was going on is actually going on. Sorry about the frame drop there. It was my computer. We're back. My point is, I can't believe this is happening. Yes, Lori, there was a little buffer there. It's actually my very old computer. When it gets hot, he doesn't do as well. Tal Computer's doing well, though. Overall, kick clean. But yeah, that was Tal Computer, not you. He's back now. Alright, I gotta write this up. This is wild. Yeah, Turtle Boy was right. Karen was right. A lot of people were right. I can't believe it. And we're talking about 2025. 2025. I also reset the chat. Hello, Marcia, my dear friend. You're so wonderful. I can't believe it. We're about to get into the text. My mind is blown. And the Party Boys thing, come on now. No. It is now confirmed, per the Canton police investigation report into Sean Goode. All 200,000 ProctorGate messages, which included a group chat called Party Boys. Oh, that one is going to get memed, let me tell you that right now. Were recovered from Michael Proctor's phone, and I'm going to quote it, for the purposes of a separate investigation. Well then. My word. My God. It was all true. It was all true. Every bit of it. Everything everyone had been expecting. It's bigger than anyone thought. This is why everyone's going quiet. They knew it was coming. They don't know what the feds have, but this is it. This is the hint. It's staring you in the face. There's going to be more news. I don't know when. Who's going to get in trouble? What are they going to get in trouble for? Does it depend on Adam Deitch getting elected? Frankly, I do not know. I really don't know. I'm scared to ask. Source, page 4 of 17. I'm shocked. I'm shocked. I'm shocked, I tell you. I didn't think it would be in black and white. There must be some of you out there whose minds are just blown right now. I can't believe I was here for this day. I can't believe it happened. The feds have to have signed off on this. There's no way in the world the state was investigating Michael Proctor. Sorry. No chance. And the feds would only have let this report be made public if they reviewed every single word of it. They revealed only as much as they needed to reveal, and there's enough in here for a very savvy person to tell exactly what's going on. That's wild. This isn't... I'm staying up late. Gonna hang out with Towel Girlfriend. Oh my goodness, good thing we had a coffee. I can't believe what is staring me in the face. I read it 3 different times, said 3 different ways, each one more precise than the last. And as of this one, I'm telling you, that says exactly what it means. Somebody was investigating Michael Proctor in the fall of 2025, and it had probably nothing to do with Judge Doolin's production order. I knew it! Judge Doolin was read in. Judge Doolin, I knew it! Judge Doolin, I knew it! I knew it. You understand what this means? This means that Judge Doolin ordered production after the perjury trap was laid. After Proctor lied about whether he had these, they moved on him. They moved on him. Judge Doolin was in on it. He got him. I knew Judge Doolin was a good man. I knew it. I saw it in his eyes. He was doing this hearing one time with Karen, and Karen went over to side that, and Judge Doolin had this glimmer in his eye. And it wasn't a glimmer like, I like Karen Reed. It was like a, good job, Miss Reed. Like, good job. And I was like, wait a minute. Good job, Miss Reed. He's not complimenting her for they're not guilty. But he knows something. He thinks she did good work. What could she have possibly done? They told Judge Doolin. They read Judge Doolin in on the plan. Listen, I've heard of this operation many, many years ago in the 80s. I think in Cook County, Illinois. Maybe somewhere else. Where they literally involved the judges in the investigation. I'm not kidding. And some of the cops. And the lawyers who pretended to be dirty lawyers. And the judges pretended to be dirty judges. Yeah. Led to the arrest of like 84 people. You don't understand. The only way you could have pulled this off, if this is true, if what this person is saying in this document is true, then the only reason Judge Doolin issued his order compelling Michael Proctor to turn all this stuff over is because Judge Doolin knew that somebody already had it. That's my interpretation. Can't say, but I wish I could be like, and I know this to be 100% because, but I can't, because this author of this document talked to somebody who told him, you do not say what that investigation was about. Don't footnote it, don't reference it, don't talk about it, just say what you gotta say to make the point and move on. Wow. It's like staring behind the curtain. And if I had read it once, I could have probably gone 50-50 on whether it was just like a weird way of talking about complying with Judge Doolin's order to produce these documents. Nope. By the third time they said it, I got it. Sorry. It's very, very, like, dry around me. It's just dry. And my nose is dry. It's going to be 110 degrees here or something later this week. The atmosphere is very oppressive right now, to put it lightly. And actually, there's no air conditioning. I have a room air conditioner, but it's probably going to get to like 140 in my living area. So, yeah, I might go to a hotel for a night or something. I don't think I can live if it's 140, and a room AC won't be able to cool it down. Alright, so anyway, yeah, we don't have AC. And there's probably a rule about the temperature in this space, but I don't want to deal with that right now. I need like a day vacation anyway. It'll be a staycation. Alright. I just can't believe what I've just read. A separate investigation. If that were anything but something highly explosive, he just would say what the investigation is. He would just say, because of this. Proctor was already gone from the state police, so it wasn't an IA investigation. Was it a private investigation? It was the feds. Actually, you know what? We got to do a poll. We got to do a snap towel poll. And we're about to get into the worst part of this, by the way. And I'll read the results of the last poll. Who do you think was investigating Michael Proctor in the fall of 2025? Alright, let's see. The feds, clearly. The state of Massachusetts. The aliens. The goats. Okay? So you take your chance. The last poll, 225 you voted. What is your reaction to the Sean Goode report regarding ProctorGate? 37% of you said I'm an angry towel, and 26% of you said I want justice for the goats. 22% of you said I'm appalled. 15% of you said I'm shocked. I put up another poll. You can vote on that now. Alright, here we go. Based on this investigator's review of all the data, a majority of the data can be attributed to group chats created in an application called WhatsApp. Based on this investigator's review of all the data, Sergeant Goode participated in 3 of the 8 WhatsApp groups provided. Norfolk DA data tranche. A. This first group chat, including Sergeant Goode, contains messages from August of 2019 through October of 2023. There were 8 total participants in the group, and it was originally created to discuss the group's fantasy football league. The second group chat, including Sean Goode, contains messages from March of 2015 through July of 2021. There are 2 participants in the group. Norfolk DA data tranche, so that's got to be Goode and Proctor, obviously. The third group chat, including Sergeant Goode, contains messages from April of 2013 through March of 2022. There are 10 total participants in the group. The participants of this group chat designated it Party Boys. The Party Boys, huh? Interesting. The Party Boys. I wonder if anyone ran it. It's like the Hardy Boys, but, you know, not really interested in investigating crimes, more interested in partying. Where were you partying, boys? Were you partying with people from, you know, your den? Am I hitting a little too close to home? Yeah, I doubt they were referred to the Hardy Boys. But my point is, why call it the Party Boys? What were they doing? Where were they partying? Alright, here we go. It's going to get brutal. The message, if you've been waiting, I know a lot of you probably don't want to see the actual messages. It's really hard for me to read these. I'm giving you a content warning, and I'm telling you this gets really brutal for like 10 pages. During the course of this investigation, Sergeant Goode participated, texted, shared, and condoned conduct that was racist, misogynistic, anti-Semitic, homophobic, ableist, huh? An ableist! I'll have you know I'm sewn together from one hip to the other. I'm gonna get all mad. My throat's collapsing. Airway and esophagus penetrate. And neuralgia. And colitis. I don't want to hear about no ableism. I don't want to hear about any bigotry, but ableism in particular. You try living as a disabled person. Do you know what it's like to be sewn together at the hips? It's very uncomfortable. And otherwise offensive and or discriminatory. The following sections detail some of the specific statements and comments attributed to Sergeant Goode as obtained during this investigation. However, it does not reflect the entirety of what this investigator reviewed to reach conclusions about potential violations of department and town policies. Let's take a look at the footnote. 3. Each of the numbered and italicized message referenced in Section 5, Paragraph 7, and its corresponding subsections are exact quotes from Sergeant Goode as contained in the data tranche provided. Any misspelled words, misplaced words, or other incorrect grammar have been included to reflect the messages in the exact manner they were originally sent. References that are not italicized represent descriptions of messages, voice recordings, picture, etc. So, references that are not italicized are a description of a voice recording or a picture. Alright? Oh god, I'm gonna have to read some terrible things. I'm censoring all the slurs. I'm not reading them. The Bills look good, and if they can control Deshaun like this, they can control Baltimore's black quarterback? I don't understand. 2. Blackie, question mark. 3. Sergeant Goode says, that sergeant was forced to go to the White House. He did nothing wrong. That blank guy is a race-baiting C-word. I know exactly who he's talking about. He's talking about the Harvard professor who got arrested in his home. He had to go to the White House for a beer with President Obama. I think his name was like Gates or something. Wow. Oh, that's bad. His name was Henry Louis Gates Jr. and the police sergeant was James Crowley. And the date was July 30th, 2009. 2009? Why are they talking about that years later? Wow. Yikes. Blank is the whitest black kid, said Sergeant Goode. Marcia, he was arrested because someone reported him for breaking into his own home. He told the cops it was his home. They didn't believe him. Then he went to the White House with President Obama, and they had a beer, and then they made up. But yeah, I mean, he was a Harvard professor. So he was like, dude, of course I have a nice home. And the cops didn't believe him. They thought because he was black, he couldn't have lived in the Cambridge home he had. Even though he was like, I'm clearly a Harvard professor. They didn't believe him. Yeah, it was a bad one. And I mean, if he had like broken a window to get in, if there was any reason that maybe the cops weren't like weren't thinking but instead reacting, fine. Okay, they were just trying to like figure it out. No, he just went into his own home. Some neighbor saw him, thought it was a break-in, called the cops. They didn't do a good job, and it was embarrassing. There was no good cause. I think they did actually arrest him. He was obviously not charged. You can't break into your own home. That's pretty obvious. Ah, that's right. He put his key under a rock and was coming home. I think he was coming home from a conference. But the point is, even if they had suspicions, barring a break-in, literally like a broken window, all they had to say was, just show me your ID. Just tell me your name, show me your ID. They call Harvard. Is this the guy? Okay, we just wanted to make sure. What if he was lying? He could have been trying to steal this professor's work. You can get out of it, but nope, they doubled down. Yeah, it was a bad. It was just, there was just no reason for it. But yeah, that was a long time ago, 2009. They were talking about it a few years later, though. Clearly. 5. Goode says, yeah, Canton was I'm going to guess that's so, with a P at the end by accident, racist. He's being sarcastic. Blank, give me one example. So they're still protecting the other ProctorGate participants. 6. Sean Goode says, we all saw the same, quote, hood rats breaking into the liquor stores. Number 7. Hey, redacted. You live in a gated community in one of the most expensive neighborhoods in the world. You will be fine, and your only interaction with black people are the ones that clean your house and cut your grass. What? Sean Goode says, quote, my honest issue with everything that is going on, and I feel like I can respond honestly, is that as police, we respond constantly to violent crimes. And the vast majority of these crimes are black on black. This is Sean Goode speaking. And the general public doesn't care. Why didn't we see these massive protests in March when a 13-year-old in Jamaica Plain was innocently gunned down, but gang fighting, not a whisper, by gang fighting. Their cause that they are fighting for doesn't hold water in my mind. They should be outraged every weekend in Chicago when they average 15 murders. Okay. Then, number 9, Sean Goode says, they want to just rob and steal. They love being criminals. Then 10, Sean Goode said, that is unreal. Next will be they get 2 points automatically to their civil service like vets get. 11, Sean Goode says, wearing tons of baby powder because that N-word was ashy as hell. Number 12, Sean Goode says, no way blank doesn't drop an accidental N-word comment. 13, Sean Goode says, I would never go on camera. I would freeze, then blurt out the C word or the N word. And he did not abbreviate. Oh, really? I guess Sean Goode doesn't like going on camera. He just blurts out racist slurs. Number 14. There is only so much a N-word can take. And male sexual organs will never be one of them. He did not say male sexual organs. He described the scrotum and, I don't really want to talk about this, but yeah, he described, the male sexual organs using vulgar terms. And he is talking about himself. I guess he thought of himself, as a black man. I don't understand this. He apparently didn't like black men, from what I understand, or really anyone other than, people of his specific race and whatnot. But he apparently seems to refer to himself that way. And then he's trying to say he's not going to take, quote, male sexual organs. I assume that means, take them in a sexual manner. I'm not really sure what the point of that comment is. Maybe did somebody else in the conversation feel more comfortable with that? Were they propositioning each other? I don't really know what to make of that sentence. Then Sean Goode said, quote, I wish I had a lot of Jewy friends. I wouldn't spend money like an N-word, hard R, on payday. What? Does Sean Goode think if you're around Jewish people, they give you financial advice? You know, I know a lot of Jewish people. My family's Jewish. We don't really talk about financial advice. Do you think they just call me and are like, yeah, you're making really poor financial decisions. Yeah, you should invest the money. What? What? I've never heard that one before. Well, I've heard of, I've seen like a Family Guy episode that kind of makes fun of this stereotype, and I am part Jewish. But so I didn't think it was that offensive. But this stereotype that a lot of accountants are Jewish, I've heard of it. I've heard people joke about it. But like, I'm a little concerned because he thinks, I guess, that just knowing Jewish people as friends means they like call you up and they're like, listen, on Friday when you get paid, don't go to the bar. All right, like don't go to the brothel. Like you need to invest in the new IPO. It just came across, like I think this company's going to get a lot of contracts. Invest, like you want to put 40% in there. Now, ideally, you're going to put 25% in a high yield like CD, maybe a Roth IRA. How much are you contributing to your IRA? By the way, have you considered like doing a full match? What are they giving you, an 8-2? Anyway, my point is, you can clearly see that, like, no, nobody does that. Why does he think this is a thing? I'm already offended and we're only halfway into this. It's going to get worse and worse, I assure you. I just can't believe that somehow with this language and these comments, the lead from this is still going to be that Michael Proctor was under investigation in the fall of 2025. I just can't believe it. I'm blown away. And I'm also offended. And also, having Jewish friends does not mean you get free financial advice. All right? I didn't know I needed to make this clear. That's not a thing. Where's Portnoy? Can we get Portnoy to yell about Sean Goode? Come on, no. Somebody tell Portnoy about this. He's got to get made. What was Portnoy's view on the Karen Reed case? I don't think I ever really looked into that. I do want to look more into it. But anyway, he can be mad about this. He's a good advocate. Somebody's got to get made. I know all the people in chat are made. Alright. Oh no, it gets worse. Now Sean Goode says, who is the G-word slur ending in K with blank? Then Sean Goode says, quote, been loyal customer for a very long time. Been happy with them. Can't deal with, quote, G-words next to... Been a loyal customer for a very long time. Very happy with them. But you don't like the who moving in? Who you what establishments were you patron in, Mr. Goode? How many brothels were running in Massachusetts? Unrelated to what Goode was saying. Just in general. How many brothels were and are operating in this state? I'm a little concerned. I'm a little worried. I think we got to call some of the state government officials. We got to do some, inspections, various audits. We should just patron various places, pretending to be customers. See if they try to sell us the waitresses. I don't know anything about that. I know nothing. You know nothing. Pay no attention to the man on the screen behind the towel. I am just a towel. Anyway. Yeah, I don't know what Sean Goode is doing now. I hope he doesn't get a Brian Tully position. Sean Goode then says, were the toilets small in G-word land? Who went there? You know what people sometimes go to Southeast Asian countries to do? I want more information. Bro. I understand. Some people like to go on vacation. But I don't want to hear about, like, 40, 50-year-old white men going to Vietnam. I got freaking questions. Or Thailand. What the hell? Family vacation? Fine. They got some really nice islands, very quiet. But bro, you're going to Thailand or Vietnam, into any of those cities, as yourself by a 40, 30, 40, 50-year-old man from America. No. Nope. Nope. Oh, it's definitely a destination trip, Marcia. I'm not saying that there's not, legitimate reasons to go there. Beautiful countries. I've never been. But I've heard and seen pictures like the island hotels, the very nice areas. Yes, of course. Nobody who's just going for a vacation is per se doing anything wrong. But there's a profile of a person who's like 30 to 60 years old, from America in particular, who goes to Vietnam and Thailand. And I'm not talking about Donna Adelson. Let's put it that way. And the fact that he's referring to it as G-word land, it's just terrible. One sec, I must blow my nose. Thank you for your indulgence. I muted the microphone so you didn't have to listen to me blow my nose. This is getting hard to read. Now, Sean Goode says stupid, ugly G-word with a K. And then Goode says, exactly, I want to be jealous of you guys. Girl to guy ratio is 12 to 1. And you find a 50-year-old G-word to talk to. I want to be depressed. No, I don't think so, Bunny. I think it's the pollen and the heat. Dude, he's definitely talking about some kind of trip somebody took. So I went to Apple today, says Sean Goode, and saw probably at least 500 Asians in line waiting to purchase unlocked iPhone 6s. I talked to one of the geeks there, and they told me they all come in with cash and spend on average 5 to 10K on iPhones and ship them over to China. I literally watched this G-word pull 5 Gs from a bag to pay for phones. Okay. Then Sean Goode says students pay $100 a year to park. It's outrageous. Get rid of the courts and make more parking spots. How many students play tennis? 7 Jews and 4 G-words? What? I didn't know tennis was a Jewish sport. I have a lot of friends that like tennis. Tennis is really fun. It's fast-paced. They hit the ball really hard. There's lots of points. I'm trying to think if, like, the people I play tennis with over the years were Jewish. I don't think so. I mean, maybe some of them, but not all of them. At least one of them wasn't. My point is, I didn't know that tennis was a Jewish sport. I thought everybody liked tennis. I didn't even know this. I'm very offended. You don't see a lot of Jewish people winning, like, world tennis tournament stuff. When was the last time a Jewish person won Wimbledon? I mean, that would be great. But I don't see it that often. It's mostly like the Spanish, the British, you know. Andy Roddick. I might be like 20 years out of date, you know. I like Coco Gauff. She's really good at tennis. I think she's Jewish. So my point is, I don't even know where he's getting this stuff. Did he go to a tennis club one time, see a lot of Jewish people, and be like, well, you know, I guess all the people who play tennis are Jewish? Just ridiculous. I'm sure it's going to get worse. Then he says, stupid G-words. Sean Goode, that is. Then Sean Goode says, watch out for the R-word, slur for a mentally disabled person, flu. Then Sean Goode says to someone, how's your Asian porn collection? Bro. Are they saving their porn? I mean, listen, you want to watch porn? That's cool. I'm not going to judge. Not something I do, especially right now. It just doesn't really interest me. But like saving the porn? Are you making folders? Like, how into porn are you? I'm not trying to judge. I'm just saying, like, I get people like organize their like comics, you know, their video games, but like if you're at the point where you're organizing your porn collection, you know, you gotta stop and think for a second. Like, I don't think most people do that. Maybe I'm having a little, you know, like towel bubble bias, but I just don't think that's a very normal thing to do. You gotta like build folder structures. You'd have to like name them. You'd have to be like, oh, that's a great video for my like this folder. Like, what? Oh god. Oh god. I don't even like the type of people who save folders of their porn are the type of people who sometimes have things. Yeah, we're gonna just. I don't want to go down that road just yet. Then Sean Goode says, how are the Asians there? Are they real C-wordy with a Y at the end? And that's C-H, not C-U. Then Sean Goode says, a chick is moving in, question mark? Is she Asian? Brown? Does she smell? Bro. Then Sean Goode says, eat an Asian male sexual organ. And he did not say male sexual organ. Let me just be very clear. Then Sean Goode says, Asians are the strangest creatures on earth. Then Sean Goode says, Asians can't even drive Segways. Bro, Segway? Segway? The thing that was called an IT when it first rolled out in like 2003 on Good Morning America? A Segway? Who refers to a Segway casually in conversation? Dude, I bet they were getting trained on them at work or something. Only cops would call it a Segway, exactly. Mall cops. Then Sean Goode says, open house across the street from me, and it's packed with Asians. Then he has an emoji of himself with a toy squirt gun pointed at his head. Then Sean Goode says, quote, Asians are the worst neighbors. They keep their yard house like the S word, and the in-laws live with them. Then Sean Goode says, fat Asians are the best Asians. What? What? He said fat Asians are the best Asians? What does that mean? Sean Goode says, got bullied all through life, then decided to be Eminem and grow out a S-word, slur for Hispanic people, stash. I don't understand. Then Sean Goode says, yes, it was. Or when he asked the black to say the line, what you talking about, Willis? And it was even him that says that line on the show. Dude. Gary Coleman. Wanted to get Mr. Coleman's first name right. I knew his last name was Coleman. I did not know his first name. Gary Coleman is, as far as I know, I don't know if he had any scandals. He's an American treasure. Please correct me if I'm wrong. Gary Coleman does not deserve this. Won't somebody stand up for Gary Coleman? This is wrong. I tell you it's wrong. Won't somebody think of Gary Coleman? Is he alive? Hold on. I think he might be dead. He died. Okay, so Gary Coleman is dead. But I'm telling you, if he were alive, and even in his honor, it's wrong. Somebody must stand up for Gary Coleman. This is... I'm going to do it. That's it. I'm mad. I'm doing it. I know we did, but someone... If we won't stand up for Gary Coleman's honor, no one will. Alright. That's it. Sean Goode declared war on Gary Coleman in the new ProctorGate messages. I am mad. Goode referred to Mr. Coleman as, what's the word? The black. I'm actually offended. He didn't even know Gary Coleman's name. Gary Coleman has a name. I like Gary Coleman. I thought he was hilarious. He was really funny. He pioneered that form, I think, of comedy. I thought it was great. Hold on one second. I must send a message to Towel Girlfriend. Oh no, my wonderful Towel Girlfriend. Well, if you need to get some rest, you absolutely do that. I'll look forward to waking up with you very early in the morning. I adore you and love you very much, and you're absolutely wonderful. And I'm saying this over stream and on a voice note to you on a voice note right now. So I hope you sleep very well, and you make me very happy. And thank you for watching, and you're wonderful. Sorry, I just wanted to send a voice note to Towel Girlfriend before she goes to bed. Nope, that's a tradition on Towel Street. Nope, it's a tradition. If you're here with us for the first time, sending voice notes to Towel Girlfriend before bed is absolutely a tradition. And by the way, don't you want a little levity to break up, this? Isn't just a little positivity a good thing? After listening to hundreds and hundreds of horrifying messages, personally, I think it's a nice little buttress between the drama. But yeah, it's tough. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. I can do my best to kind of make light of some of this, just for the purposes of insulating your brain from drama. But there's no way to sugarcoat it. It's all very brutal, and it gets worse. But yeah, here we go. Let's continue. Sean Goode says, is it too much to ask the Brazilians at Dunks to butter both pieces of my bagel? It drives me bonkers. Then Sean Goode says, oh no. He says, I hope he dies. I don't know who Sean Goode is talking about. Or gets SA'd by a big black hog. Bring in nasty blank from half-baked to F blank to death. What? He was making statements about people getting SA'd to death? That's really bad. Oh, that's very bad. Oh, goodness. In another post shortly after the death of George Floyd, Sergeant Goode shared a photo of George Floyd when he was on the ground being kneeled on. He superimposed a photo of the Barry Wood meme sitting on George Floyd's neck with the comment, "Too soon?" I'm afraid to ask, but I don't know what the Barry Wood meme is. What? What am I? What? Oh. Oh. Why did I look this up? I shouldn't have done that. I expect this from perhaps like rebellious 14-year-old teenagers. And even then, I'd be like, "What? Who let you on the internet unmonitored?" I don't know what to say. I really don't. It's a meme of a very large and very naked black man who has a lot of muscles, and he's kind of bending over or squatting, and you know, his sexual organ is very prevalent, and I don't think I needed to know about that or see that. I've been traumatized. You know, I've seen a lot of memes in my day. I really have. I've never seen that one. I'm having a crisis of consciousness right now. I've been, first of all, I don't even know if I want to know about those memes, but I've been out-memed by like a 40-year-old local cop in Canton. And it's, oh, my brain is breaking. I don't know what to say anymore. I really didn't need to know about that one. Oh, I really didn't need to know. Oh, goodness. you know, and, memes, and, I think this one broke me. I think they finally got to me. I can't comprehend, first of all, that Sean Goode knew about a meme I didn't know about, and second of all, that it was deployed in the context that it was. I mean, that's it. I'm not mad. I've been broken. They have finally found Towel's Kafka-esque limit. I am living inside of some kind of absurd novel. That's it. Yep, I think unsolicited, sexual pics are wrong. And I think my brain's broken. I don't know what to say anymore. Why did he know about that meme? Why did he make a meme? He made his own effing meme with a naked black man. I need an adult. That's it. Kofi, I need a vacation. I'm going on vacation. That's it. I'm taking a staycation. I can't believe this has happened. I shouldn't have looked that meme up. I can only imagine this investigator looking this up and being like, "Oh, it's going to be a meme, It's just going to be a meme." It's not a meme. It's not a meme. And I'll tell you, the doggy video, that was traumatizing. But this was, I just wasn't. I didn't want to look at that. I didn't want to. My eyes feel violated. Shut God, Good, what have you done? What have you done to Towel? Oh, oh, I feel my eyes, my virgin eyes. Oh, God. Oh. I mean, not that there's anything wrong, you know, but like, you gotta give people a warning. I was not prepared. Hi, Francine, my dear friend. God bless you. We are having another one of those ProctorGate nights. You don't want to look up the meme. I know some of you are going to look it up and probably be like, Grant? Grant? Yep, well, I told you not to look it up. Who do I think is more racist? Ask non-conversational. Great historical serendipity with the username there. Proctor or Goode? Right now, Goode's charging up the ranks. I mean, Proctor was up there based on some of what I've seen, but we've only seen a little bit. This is the most we've ever seen from these documents, and Goode's like quickly climbing the ladder to first. We need to know who these guys were sending naked pictures of, including one woman who was a victim in an investigation they were involved in. All right. There's been a goal in Germany versus Portugal. I don't know what the score is. This is hard on my psyche. All right, let's continue. Then it says, eat a black sexual organ. He did not say sexual organ. Then Goode said, what's the C word ending in a K, T word slur for mentally disabled people name that was adopted by the old superintendent? They were talking about the child of the Canton superintendent. Oh, this is bad. Oh, that's right. We've been going for 2 hours. If you want to support this stream, if you want to buy Towel food, help Towel get a hotel when it's going to be 110 degrees because he's not going to be able to survive in this unair-conditioned space. There's a Venmo. There's a Cash App. There's PayPal. Support Towel stream. Thank you for all your super chats. Thank you for being you. God bless all of you. Cash App's money sign Grant Spintellis. Venmo at Grant-E1. PayPal.me/Grant-Ellis. Towel loves you all very much. Let's continue. And that love is the only thing that could probably get me through reading all of this. It's very bad. And by the way, please do not feel obligated to donate. The point of this is it's a public information service. So, like, if you don't have the capacity to donate, your erudite participation and comments mean the world to me as well. And it's the energy that keeps me going. Speaking of that, I hope Mimi's doing well. I miss my dear Mimi. I hope she's doing well. She's wonderful. God bless you, Mimi. The next one, I'm not saying this word, or the other word. Goode says the W word, a slur for Hispanic people, and the K word, a vulgar slur for Jewish people, are my favorite. Then Sean Goode says, how are the blacks? Blackie? Question mark. Then Sean Goode says, how are the blacks down there? Very blackie. The high school principal was adopted by the superintendent. This is wild. We're going into the next part, which is the anti-Semitic language. I want to give you another warning. This is going to be brutal. They get worse and worse and worse. Well then, I'm gonna tell. All right. So, moving to the next section. Oh, God bless you, Francine. We'll find a way to fix that internet so you can watch You're Wonderful. We're gonna get you. We'll get it fixed. I don't know how. I'll pray or something, but the internet powers that be should fix Francine's internet, make it better. She's great. Grant, I'll let you know when that apartment becomes available, but unclear. Ah, yes, Nunya. You know how to find me. Reach out to me on X. Mateo. Our girlfriend and I probably would like a base of operations. That'd be fun. Some people want to hang out with us. We're going to travel a little bit. I'm going to go see different people. Definitely George. Various people. Visit Tal Mom Bunny. Maybe say hi to Tiffany Bob, etc. We can visit Nunya. Silent Dogs. And we can visit water under the fridge. It'll be great. Alright, Nunya. Well, the way to reach me is my name, Grant Smith Ellis, at Gmail. Alright? Send me an email anytime. Yeah, I do, Silent Dogs. I really do. Alright. This next section is going to be brutal, especially for those of you who might be Jewish. Neo Conversational says, Grant, you're not a towel, you're the towel. Karen D asked, does it say who Goode was sending these messages to? Well, we know it was Proctor, someone named Kevin Foley. We believe it might also be Meg Kennedy's husband, who was in there as Larry Kennedy, but his name's not Larry, apparently. A Grail. I'll look into it. Never heard of it, Silent Dogs. I will take a note. Alright, next section coming up. I know for some of you it's easier to have it read out, so I'm happy to do it, but it is really intense. Got it, Silent Dogs. Next part of the report. Sergeant Goode authored the following text messages, which are objectively anti-Semitic. I condemn all of these in the strongest terms. 1. Great owner, says Sean Goode, quote, terribly C-wordy Jew to everybody else. Then, Sean Goode says, just don't like that whiny Jewish complaining humor. Whiny Jewish complaining humor? What are you talking about, Mr. Goode? I don't know anything about people who are Jewish complaining and being whiny and using humor. I know nothing about that. What are you talking about? I'm mad. I'm going to complain. Oh, wait a minute. Damn it. Anyway, my point is, I could take that lightly, because my family's Jewish. Did you ever spin the dreidel at Hanukkah? I highly doubt it. But my point remains, I don't know anything about whiny, complaining Jewish humor. Outrageous. Oh, goodness. Number 3. Sean Goode says Jews controlled the election. We did? I missed the meeting. Nobody told me about that. Wait a minute. I could have been in control of the election? I must have missed the listserv. They got to send this stuff out by, regular mail. I missed the Jewish people rigging the election convention. That's it. But seriously, it's just, if you want to say something like X group, like let's say there's an interest group, right? And you want to say they disproportionately spent money on an election. I don't think it's necessarily like the most informed discourse, because what does that mean? What faction of that group? What policy were they advocating? Where did they spend the money? Like, just telling me a total number is irrelevant. But at least you've rooted it in a fact. And then you've taken it too far. This is just a broad statement. He's saying all Jews controlled the election as far as I can tell. And I'm telling you, I'm part Jewish. I didn't control the election. Nobody invited me. But yeah, it's just a flagrant overgeneralization. That's everything. The theme of all of these messages is they think of people, these cops, as if they're all the same based on their race or religion. They profile them viciously, and then they act on it. Yeah, I agree. Someone said he has such a simple mind. No, good. Anything he doesn't like, someone else's fault. Then Sean Goode says he was at a 3-day-long Jewish orgy. What? Excuse me? Who was at a 3-day-long Jewish orgy? God bless you, Sherry. It's so good to see you. Who was at a 3-day-long Jewish orgy? Who's he? Why are they talking about Jewish orgies? Why are there Jewish orgies? I mean, I've never been to an orgy. I wouldn't go to one. It's not my thing. Sorry. I'm a monogamist. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, my towel senses are very alerted. What? I mean, there's not enough there for it to be a smoking gun. But let's just say we don't want to see too many references to orgies or like swinger culture. That would start raising a lot of concerns. Yeah, I wasn't invited to the Jewish orgy. No one told me about it. I must be on the wrong... I'm not on any Jewish listservs. I must not be in the right email groups. They're not telling me about the Jewish control of the election, the Jewish orgies. I feel excluded. Just for the record, I'm being sardonic. I don't actually think that all the Jewish people in the world get together and plan orgies or control elections. I just don't think all the Jewish people do that. I would know. I'm part Jewish, and I don't do that. So, anyway, I just don't really understand. Yeah, I must have not been in the right place. I didn't get the invite. But seriously, I've met a lot of Jewish people. No one has ever talked about orgies. I just want to be clear. I've known Jewish people my whole life. My family, my community members, various people I've met. Like one guy who ran a Jewish shoal that was painting the Italian flag on the road in Newton and trying to tell the mayor to arrest him. That Jewish man was great. My point is, I've never met any Jewish people that talked about orgies, so I don't know what this guy's talking about. Alright, let's continue. Then, Sean Goode calls someone a midget Jew. Then, Sean Goode tells someone in the conversation he has a Jew nose. Oh, okay. Then, Sean Goode said, she's a Jew, so she definitely puts out. We had seen that one in one of the motions. And then, Sean Goode says, and the Jew chick is pretty cute. Then Sean Goode says, who looks more Jewy? Then Sean Goode says, Jew F word, ending in ER. Then Sean Goode says, but yes, very Jewy. Then Sean Goode says, that's kinda Jewy. Then Sean Goode says, Mr. Blank is a nosy little Jew dweeb. Then Sean Goode says, who is that? A Jew or a black? Then Sean Goode says, it's observationally Jewy. Then Sean Goode says, Jew knows. Then Sean Goode says, Jew sympathizers. Then Sean Goode says, cause blank, they have to get all that... I don't want to say this. Cause blank, they have to get all the blank years out of them before they marry some geeky Jew. Bro. Excuse me? Steve-O says, Grant, do you remember a video of Proctor handing duffel bags to the feds? It was played by maybe Sean. Others have played it as well. It's been a while, and I think it has some significance. Steve-O, if you have a link, please let me know. I'm very interested. I just can't believe, because, listen. There's not a lot of girls, but there's one person who fits that in the orbit of this, bro. And he better not know her. Because if he knows her, this specific woman that I'm thinking of, bro, no way. And I'm not saying that she's the only person, but if he knows her, and there's one person that does fit that description, and I think she'd probably describe herself that way. In the orbit of this case, talking about. If it turns out somebody was paying good money for whatever this operation was. Hello, Mattel. Somebody was paying good money for this operation. It's too well coordinated, and there's no way that line is a coincidence. It's just too specific. Hi, C-Star. It's so good to see you. You're so wonderful. Hello, Mr. and Mrs. Sweeney. We have the Sean Goode report, and it revealed that Michael Proctor's text actually came out. You got to read page 4, well, page 1, page 2, page 3, page 4. We're on page 7. It reveals that Michael Proctor's 200,000 ProctorGate messages came out because of a, quote, separate investigation that was going on as recently as the fall of 2025. Right? It wasn't Judge Doolin's order. I know it's bombshell. Hold on, frame drop. Mr. and Mrs. Sweeney are wonderful. But yes, we don't have confirmation. We don't know exactly what happened, but I do know that Michael Proctor, in July of 2025, told the Norfolk Superior Court in the Miles King case these messages did not exist, and he searched his phone. Then, due to a, quote, separate investigation, on October the 23rd and 24th of 2025, Michael Morrissey and then Lynn Beatty met with Chief Perkins and gave Chief Perkins of the Canton PD access to not hold, but listen to words said by Sean Goode, messages sent, etc. That information, according to the private investigator who wrote this Sean Goode report, was in turn provided due to a separate investigation into Michael Proctor to the Norfolk DA by December 10th of 2025. Only by that point does the Norfolk Superior Court issue a protective order allowing the investigator and the town of Canton's counsel to get all of the messages. So what was the separate investigation into Michael Proctor? It wasn't by the state police, that's for damn sure. He was long retired by then. Yes, indeed, C-Star, it's wild. This whole report is wild. And now we're on page 7. All right, we're reading through some of the messages that were revealed in the report. But the lead, and I think even some of the channels that, like NBC 10, that originally processed this in 9 minutes, they didn't get it. They missed a lead. These 200,000 messages didn't exist. Somebody, pause. The takeaway is that someone was investigating Michael Proctor in the fall of 2025, and then after July, when Michael Proctor lied to the court and said he couldn't get these messages, somebody revealed them through a separate investigation. We don't know whose investigation, we don't know why, but it leads to the theory, the inevitable conclusion, that Michael Proctor was baited with that initial order in the Miles King case. Twice he was given the chance to reveal these messages. He didn't do it both times, and then someone, due to a separate investigation, drops them on the Norfolk DA. thus forcing them to be turned over to the criminal defendants and eventually to the town of Canton. It all lines up. I don't know who's coming or why or what they know, but I can tell it's coming. I can feel it in my towel bones. My name is Grant Smith Ellis. We're halfway through this document. I want to get done with it. I completely missed the Germany and Portugal game. Completely. That ship sailed. Towel girlfriend's already asleep. It's just the document was too important, and I felt I had to read it. An agency that rhymes with FBI. Yes, yes, yes. I think that's a good insight. All right, I'm going to continue. Then Sean Goode says, Jew, and then a sexual organ. Then Sean Goode says, Jew mentality, always thinking they are entitled. Then Sean Goode said, full-blown Jews from Sharon are the worst, entitled C-words. Now, by the way, Sharon, that town rings a bell. I wonder if there's any women that, no. Anyway, next statement. Too many Jews. Then Sean Goode says, yup, it was awesome. Blacks from Arboretum and Windsor Woods are not on Twitter following a Jewish police chief. Windsor Woods? That's where Sandra Birchmore lived. Whoa! I'm going to write it up. Well, this is wild. In a racist and anti-Semitic ProctorGate message, Sean Goode of the Canton police referred to Windsor Woods, the apartment complex where Sandra Birchmore lived, in a derogatory manner. That's a strange thing to say. It's unsettling, is what it is. Because Goode also, in a racist manner, where Sandra Birchmore lived at the time of her murder. Goode, in previous messages, referred to Sandra with a slur for disabled people after her murder. The Canton PD, including Kevin Albert, was involved in the initial investigation of Sandra's death, as was Brian Tully and John Fanning's state police unit detailed to the Norfolk DA that included Michael Proctor. I'm telling you, these people knew. They knew. Can't prove it yet. The feds probably can. Both John Fanning, Brian Tully's first executive officer, not first officer, and Yuri Buchanan used to work as cops in Stoughton before going to work at MSP. Fanning wrote the initial MSP report clearing Farwell for Sandra's murder in 2021, only for the federal government to charge Farwell in August of 2024. In that case, and then Farwell's trial begins in August of 2026. Source page 7 of 17. We gotta do the source because I try to create an archive to the best of my ability. 1 second. Hello, 3 Clerk Monty. Good to see you. That's a strange connection, isn't it, my dear friend? What's going on? I'll wait. What's going on? Never had this kind of problem before. I'm going to give it a second. I wrote a good post. I'm just going to wait it out. Where did the race of a man come from, Grant? I don't know. It's a very good question, but I have no idea. Oh, now I'm ready to post. Source page 7 of 17. I think probably it has to do with the sun. But I'm not a scientist with that all. I don't know how pigmentation in the skin works. I think it has something to do with the amount of sunlight people were exposed to and being a necessary protection. Like pigmentation as a protection against harmful rays of the sun or something. But, yeah, I'm not an expert in that by any means. You probably should read, like, cultural anthropologist for that, of which I am not one. Then Sean Good says, but he has a lot of Jewy friends. Then Sean Good says, typical Jew having it on a Sunday to save money. Then Sean Good says, Anne Frank's hide and seek club. Then Sean Good says, Anne Frank is a lying C-word. Then Sean Good says, never understood whiny Jew humor. Then Sean Good says, Jew sympathizers. Oh, then Sergeant Good authored the following text messages that are homophobic. Sean Good says, it's only gay if you push back. Then Sean Good says a slur for homosexuals, starting with the letter F. Then Sean Good says probably a fluffer for a F-word slur for gay people. Then Sean Good said it's legal to be a F-word slur. Then Sean Good says, so it's possibly could have been a bear, but most likely a F-word. Okay, thanks for the info. Remember how I told you I thought bear was, you know, slang? I don't think they're talking about an actual bear there. You know, Silent Dogs, I don't think democracy's to blame. I do think it's a little bit of pornography, but I think this is just a byproduct of A section of society that has power but is afraid to publicly expose their views. Espouse. Because people would rightfully call them out. So they just do it in private. While in public faking it. You know, Kubrick's Eyes Wide Shut. It was an analogy. Although, sure, it's real too. I pray these people weren't doing that, these lying cops, but you know, anything's freaking possible at this point. I ain't going to no mansion parties, no chance. Not a chance. Never. Never, never, never. I don't like no voodoo dolls. Not taking part in it. Not happening. Hello, Aaron, my dear friend, we do know. Then Sean Goode says, because he is an F-word, slur for gay people. Then Sean Goode says, you have them correct. Fudge draws are cool. Fish, F-word, slur, are not. Then Sean Goode calls someone a queer. Then Sean Goode says, yeah, if they were 3 male sexual organs, you are queer. Then Sean Goode says, blank, you big queer. Then he says, Sean Goode says, you big queer. Then Sean Goode says, so is redacted kid a queer? Then Sean Goode says, queer comment of the week. Then Sean Goode says, post some queer quote on Instagram. Then Sean Goode says, nice limp wrist, queer. Then Sean Goode says, and he's a queer. Then Sean Goode says, no, I would scissor F every hot lesbian I saw. What? What? You don't need to scissor them. I don't think they want to do that with a man. I'm so confused. I didn't think scissoring. How much can one towel take? Scissoring? Really? I'm gonna lose it. Scissoring? Really? I'm reading about scissoring in a official government document. Okay. Well, it's the 21st century. We're very progressive. Alright. Scissoring. Okay then. So, yeah, Sean Goode was into scissoring, you know. Okay. You know. I don't know how to analyze that. I don't know what to tell you about that. You know, I have some concerns. These guys were really into sex, which is fine. Oh, Aaron. Oh, Aaron, I'm not sure if we should... Yeah, I mean, you know, sometimes when two people love each other very much and they, you know, are both women in this situation, and you know, well, you can put 2 and 2 together, I suppose, and well, you know, and yeah, I'm not really sure how a man is supposed to scissor. I think South Park made an episode about this once, but I wasn't prepared. I really wasn't. I'm gonna have a long night. I'm telling you, I wasn't prepared for the scissoring. Yeah, so... Yeah, no, I mean, that's the part I'm confused about, too. Oh, Aaron. Yeah, I didn't think men do this. I mean, I've seen an episode of South Park where I think Mr. Garrison, he was, you know, into scissoring. I've never heard... Nightbot's like, no, I'm not defining the word man. Nightbot's in rebellion. Alright, well, you know, we've reached the point of tonight's Sean Goode investigation read where we're talking about, you know, scissoring. So, if you're just joining us, you know, God bless you. You know, pray a few rosaries for me. or whatever you pray to. I need it tonight. All right. And then, oh goodness, Sean Goode says, ran it, she is a big lesbian. He ran someone's information to determine if they were a lesbian? Wait a minute. Ran it? You have a way? We have a police database that tells the cops if people are lesbians? Does the governor know about this? Wait a minute. Wait a minute. I have concerns. I think I'm going to voice those concerns. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Did Sean Goode run someone's information to determine if the woman was a lesbian? Where is ProctorGate going to reveal these cops used official databases to find women for sexual purposes? You know, source page 8 of 17. I'm just saying, but why did he need to look her up with, why did he need to run her information to find out if she was, a lesbian? Hello, Cookie. Good to see you. We've had quite a night. I'm going to try to get this done by like 7. I think we can do it. But it's pretty brutal, I must say. I was expecting ProctorGate to get bad. I didn't know it was good. If this is a preview of how bad it's going to get, things are going to get really bad. And meanwhile, Judge Gildea wants to have a hearing in person at 3 p.m. Alan Jackson, I'm pretty sure, has to fly in from California. He was ordered to by Judge Gildea because somebody leaked something about Michael Proctor's deposition. Not his deposition, his affidavits from his deposition, which I don't really understand. I didn't see any leaks about that. I heard various people talking about Karen's deposition, Michael Proctor's deposition. I didn't see any leaks from any affidavits, so I don't know what the hell. It's going to be a public hearing. I recommend people go down that courthouse, Plymouth, 3 p.m. That would be Wednesday, July 1st, 3 p.m. I would go. I'll try to go if someone wants to take Tal down. Hashtag bring Tal for a ride. But anyway, my point is, yeah, it's a big deal. It's a big deal for a lot of reasons. That what Judge Gildea seems to be concerned with is that this information is being talked about. I don't know what Proctor put in his affidavit that got out there, because I didn't hear anything about that. So I don't know why we're having a hearing about that. But yeah, Judge Gildea is very mad. And I mean, I'd be more mad, at these cops. I would not be mad at the people trying to expose it. So I don't know what's going on there. Doesn't Judge Canoni work out of Plymouth? I hope she's not talking to Judge Gildea. If you're going to do this case, you got to not talk to anyone who could have any involvement, because they'll just lie to you. And be like, no, I don't know nothing about polio. Nope, frame drop. As I was saying, me gusta polio. Alright, let's continue. We're going to get through this. Alright, then Goode says, now, do you think he will be a lesbian or like male sexual organs? I don't understand. I don't understand. What does that mean? I think Sean Goode says, I think he looks more like the F word from Braveheart slur. Then Sean Goode says, by P word, which is slur for a female sexual organ, pick, did you mean greatest gay photo? What? Then Sean Goode says, the amount of male sexual organ suckers, which he did not say, at the park and ride across from Blue Hills is astonishing. Grown-ass men just park and walk into the woods and... Dude. What? What? First of all, why are you just sitting around Blue Hills observing gay men going into the woods? Are you trying to tell them, like, here's a spot? Like, what? Someone thinks that maybe Proctor's side leaked the documents to make Karen look bad. Interesting theory. Yes, Marcia, I agree. It does, have some strange elements to it. By the way, if people are meeting in the woods, anyway, then Goode says, kid comes off like a complete male sexual organ sucker. Then Goode says, what time are you homos coming over? Then Goode calls someone a homo. Then Goode says, we caught a guy that was driving a stolen car today that was involved in a carjacking last night in Boston. And while I was searching him in the groin area, he says, yo, that's homo. I started laughing at him, told him to get used to it considering he'll get plenty of homo time in South Bay. It's the jail. Then I realized my video and mic recording will be downloaded for the arrest file and just started laughing, thinking when the ADA plays it and I have to explain to her that was me. I'm not even reporting that. I'm just going to make a post that says Sean Goode, and then I'm just going to verbatim copy and paste that. Because I'm not describing that. I don't know how to describe that. I think Marbury v. Madison should find out if that ADA ever disclosed that. And another one. Marbury v. Madison is going to be busy. Every well-meaning, non-sold-out defense lawyer in Massachusetts is going to have... You think the state police drug lab scandal was bad with Annie Dukem? Bro, you ain't seen nothing yet. Another live one. I got to tag Marbury v. Madison. She's probably working on all these, but page 8 of 17. I like to be methodical in my documentation. Alright, then Sean Goode says, just saw the first D-bag of the weekend with his cowboy hat and ripped flannel shirt and jeans on. Only chicks look good in that outfit, homo. Okay. And then Sean Goode says, homos. Okay. Then, Part D. Sergeant Goode authored the following text messages that are offensive to those with mental and physical disabilities. Oh, goodness. First, he says, so you can go full R word after getting slammed to the ground. Tua looks scrambled. Talking about Tua Tagliavia, so football. Then Sean Goode says, so you're saying that there could be more R-word gangbangers coming out of the woods? Then Goode says, redacted is redacted's R-word twin. Then Goode says, pro T-word, slur, shortened slur of the R-word, you mean. Then Sean Goode said this little F-word has the best T-word voice. Then Sean Goode said, hey, so is redacted still R-word slur? Then Sean Goode says, what's the chink? No, Yeah, that's a slur. Blank's name that was adopted by the old superintendent. To be clear, he uses that slur multiple times to refer to the child of the superintendent. That's disgusting. Then Goode says, "You're a simple T word." Then Sean Goode says, "But a deaf R word." Then Sean Goode said, "Hey, I know this is a depressing day, but if you guys need a real good chuckle, radio is on FX right now. Cuba goes full R word slur, and it's a gas from start to finish." Then Sean Goode says, "In the T word way." Then Sean Goode says, hold on, "Seems cheap, are they R word puppies?" He was even insulting the doggies. Then Sean Goode says, "What about Jodie Foster and Nell? She went full R word. That has to count for something." Then Sean Goode says, "Nice V-neck, T word." Then Sean Goode says, "Imagine the R word strength on that female sexual organ." He used the P word. The T word is the shortened version of the R word. Instead of the full word, it's just TAR with a D. Then Goode says, "I look," referring to himself, "slightly R word." Then he says, Sean Goode says, "Can't go full R word." Then he says, "Good morning, F word, T words." Then Sean Goode says, "Wow, he might actually be R word." Then Sean Goode says, "Sort of, it's a spin-off comedy this time. It's James Bond, R word brother." Then Sean Goode said, "Who's the T word now?" Then Sean Goode says, "Plays a better T word than cop." Then Sean Goode says, "Never knew they were friends. Redacted was that fat T word, right?" Then Sean Goode says, "Could be, not sure, but I do know she got robbed in the Westgate parking lot by a couple thugs that she thought were going to sell her heroin. They effing TARD her pretty good." What? Who got robbed in the Westgate parking lot by a couple thugs that she thought were going to sell her heroin? I wonder if it's one of their informants. Then he says, "No, Bear didn't go full R word, so he got sent to Brookfield." He's talking about Proctor getting sent to a different assignment. Then Goode says, "He definitely has R word strength." Then Goode says, "So having a Sunday morning conversation with the wife, and it's going nowhere. So let's see what party boys think. Watching the show Born This Way, it's about R word kids living life. There was a scene of a couple out on a date, and I asked, was the male party R word, and blank," probably his wife, "didn't know. The kid didn't have any of the telltale signs, huge forehead, superhuman strength, ginormous space between his eyes, or a goofy smile. So I asked, is that okay if one of the parties is not the R word in the relationship? And blank associated it with, is it okay if a white girl dates a black girl? I think it's crazy if one of the parties is not the R word. He could totally take advantage of her, always beat her in trivia. So am I way off? And still watching, and I can't tell if this kid is the R word. He is definitely slow, like maybe a few clicks over 70 on the IQ test." I don't know what to say. Then Sean Goode says, "People can date whoever they want, but would society accept it? You wouldn't raise a red flag if Redacted was slamming through blank the R word girls on Tinder." Are they talking about dating kids? Then Sean Good says, redacted, you should bang a R word. Then Sean Good says, legit R word. Then Sean Good says, I would have sexual relations with that T word. Then Sean Good said, and no way she is the R word. Then Sean Good said, watching I Am Sam for the first time in a while, and Penn, well, this is not the most pleasant thing to read through, I'll tell you that. So then Sean Good says, and no way she is the R word. Then Sean Good says, watching I Am Sam for the first time in a while, and Penn went full R word and kills it. 1 second. I know it's tough. This is tough to watch, Tiffany Bob. I feel you, my friend. Give me 1 second. Waiting for things to load back up. Might just be my chat is freezing up. It has been a very long day. We're almost done. I mean, it also implicates investigation, so we have to get to the end. But this has been hard to watch. I think that's fair to say. Hard to read through. Yeah, your chat's having some issues. I'm working on it. Give me a second. Poor towel computer. He's been doing his best. Oh, that's why. I was wondering why he was struggling. I left Zoom open the whole time. And Zoom running will make things slow down. Oh, God bless you to the person who sent a donation. I absolutely just got it. I got the alert on my phone this time. Thank you so much. You're absolutely wonderful. But yeah, we're back. Let us continue. I just wanted to make your chat load up. It's loading again now. It took like 2 minutes to get it done, but I got it working. Alright, let's continue. And then Good says, any chance someone can put up a side-by-side photo of redacted and the T word? Then Sean Good says, and blank jumped from the 97th floor of the World Trade Center on 9/11 with 2 infants in her hand and a R-word paraplegic on her back. Next, Sean Good said, funny you said that. On Saturday, she grabbed my phone to Google a phone number, and the last 4 things I Googled were gay kid from Braveheart, R-word superhero, R-word redhead, and blue waffle. Then Sean Good said, I cleaned it up after blank some R-word collection. Then Sean Good said, can't lie, the little T word did a pretty good job. Do they pay them in cash or Skittles? What the hell? Then he says, Sean Good says, good luck. It took me a month to beat 30. I swear to God, I thought I had a touch of the downs. Felt so R-word not being able to beat it. Then Sean Good says, that chick was borderline R-word. By the way, he's talking about Sandra Birchmore in that text. How about Mr. Private Investigator? You say that chick was borderline R-word. He was talking about Sandra Birchmore, and the Canton PD audit did not. The Canton PD investigation did not notice that. Did not make note of it. It's very concerning. He was talking about Sandra Birchmore, whose death was investigated by the Canton PD. Sergeant Good consistently would send images of individuals with Down syndrome after conversations dealt with topics of intelligence or making fun of people. E. Sergeant Good also authored text messages and shared photos, videos that were sexist, misogynistic, and displayed a clear gender bias against women. Sergeant Good routinely referred to members of his community, most frequently women, as the C word. Sergeant Good also shared and discussed sexually explicit messages and images, including images depicting people performing sex acts and other images of women in various stages of undress. For example, Sergeant Goode authored the following. What a C word. Making a mental note of that and blank liking it. Then Goode says, unofficial, from what I'm hearing, blank won by only 13 votes over that C word blank. Who won an election by only 13 votes in Canton? Anybody know? Sean Goode says his team's name was Busta Hyman and the Penetrators. Really? Because you'd only break a hymen on a virgin. Huh. Then Sean Goode says, my favorite was Too Husky for Sandusky. That's it! He was making pedophile jokes. Wow, Germany and what is it? Is it Paraguay or Portugal? They're tied 1-1. Yikes. Sean Goode making jokes about the abuse of children. Not a good sign for ProctorGate. Not a good sign at all. Page 11 of 17. I just can't. I can't. It's disgusting. It hurts my soul to read. It hurts my belly. Makes me sad. Leaves me numb. Makes me very sad. You lose your ability to analyze it after a while. It's all just really, really sad. Nothing redeeming about this at all. There's nothing in here at all, ever, in any part of it that's redeeming. And it's just so intense. And it's so much like vulgar, horrifying material back to back to back. Then Sean Goode says, and how about the C word stating, when have you ever done the easy way? Did she forget he robbed 6-year-olds all summer for his habit? His pill habit? I feel that just finished. Hold on one second, frame drop. Sean Goode says, Redacted and I just finished Green Street Hooligans. At the end, she says this movie is too violent and stupid, so his wife. So I did what I had to do. Headbutted her and then stood over her and screamed, United, and clapped 3 times. She is such a P word. Like violent fantasies of headbutting his own wife. Sean Goode says, so frustrating. And the best part, it's not like we are sending pics of Kate Upton's enormous floppers. We're sending S-word pics. What? Sean Goode says, also for the boys that have Apple TV, make sure you turn off photo stream. Had an incident when I had my photos playing on my big screen, and all of a sudden the photo of the fat kid fingering the girl, making out with the blonde kid, showed up on my 55-inch LED. That went over like a fart in church. I don't know what to say. What the fuck? I'm gonna say, I'm, I, I'm so disappointed. I am so disappointed. What photo of the fat kid fingering the girl making out with the blonde kid? And why would you use the word kid and naked in the same sentence? I demand answers right now. ProctorGate is going to places that make me very mad. ProctorGate has gone to a place that has made me very mad. Why would you use the word kid when talking about that? I don't ever want to hear the word kid or picture and fingering and in the same time. I'm mad. I'm getting all mad. I told you I was going to get mad. Then Sean Goode says, Raiden, why is he warning people, his buddies, about that? Bunny Towel Mom and Kofi say, it's sick. I'm sick of cops, and yeah, I know we need them, but you don't know which ones are good and which ones are bad. That's very true. God bless you, Bunny Towel Mom. Then Sean Goode says, well, I enjoy tongue punching your mother's fart locker while your sisters are gurgling, and then Sean Goode refers to his sexual organs. And then Sean Goode says, okay, if you could perform, he doesn't say perform fellatio, he uses a vulgar word, yourself, would you? I'm an absolute no way, Jose. Okay. And then Sean Goode says, dude, I remember coming back from Great Woods, sitting in the back seat, and Blank had Blank's friend in the way back of Blank's truck, and she started performing fellatio on him. He says another vulgar word, and the whole truck smelled of sweaty, and then he refers to a male sexual organ. It was one of those 90-degree all-day drinking tailgating days. Effing gross. Then Sean Goode says, of course, redacted, your mom was riding shotgun on my, then he refers to his sexual organ, the whole way home. Then Sean Goode says, so you enjoy male sexual fluids on your sandwiches. Then Sean Goode says, she, unclear who, is the biggest C word. Before her maggot son died years ago, we dealt with her all the time. She would call on her loser kids and say she doesn't want them all in the house and they are drug users. We told her everything she could do. We arrested her sons. She never showed up in court, so charges were dropped. She enabled her maggot kids and blames everyone but herself. Her husband and that C word live on Blank Road in a massive mansion. F her and her dead son. Can't wait to make the announcement when her other son dies. Knock, knock with a shit-eating grin. What the hell? There's someone in Canton who's about to get really mad. I had to type incredulously. Somebody in Canton, trust me, I'm not the first one, I won't be the last one to review these, but someone in Canton is going to find out that this is them and they're going to be really made. We still have more to go. Hello, Petty LaBelle. Yes, Zaza Kitty. Almost everything in here is horrifying. Then Sean Goode says S-word for a vulgar sexual term for a woman. Then he says she was such an S-word. Then he says sexy little S-word. Then he says being an S-word and a moron. And then he says banging S-words and blowing money. Then he says gross S-word. Then he says all league S-word. Then he says he wouldn't fall for your S-word ways. Then he says, Sean Goode says, I remember one time he was telling me how he bags these African hookers and doesn't wear a condom because they are the cleanest and hottest African S-words. So, the cops just enable prostitution? And what? Yikes. ProctorGate is indeed getting worse. No wonder they all lost their minds. This is horrifying. The implications of this are going to be worse than the Annie Dukem scandal. That's your documentary, Netflix. Just gross. I feel gross. I know it's important to document, but I feel gross. Builder Cape Cod says, great, you are always right in my opinion. Go to hell. Oh, I'm not always right. You gotta, I think I was saying it earlier, you gotta be willing to be wrong to be right. No one's right all the time. That's crazy. The human relationship with truth is asymptotic at best. You approach but never touch universal truth. So, yeah, I definitely am willing to entertain different perspectives, be wrong, have an opinion, like shoot for the stars, shoot for the moon, land among the stars, try to figure it out kind of thing. But yeah, no, I appreciate what you're saying, but don't follow me, don't follow leaders, feed your parking meters, and also just think for yourself. I'm trying to teach you how to think, not what to think. So yeah, I'd like to, if you come away from anything, with anything from this coverage at any time, I hope it's that you've been given the tools to process amalgamated information and parse narrative from facts to find the truth in order to understand the world around you. Hashtag I'm a town. God bless all of you, though, you're wonderful. And so are you, Cape Cod Builder, and your words of support do mean a lot to me. Then, Sean Goode says, she was a big time S-word. Then Sean Goode says, he got game, apparently referring to a movie, when Jesus gets to tag the two S-words was great scene. I'm going to guess that's not a movie about, Christ. I'm thinking this is I think it's a basketball movie. The reason I say this is, as far as I know, I don't think Jesus did that. So I'm just going to I'm just going to say I don't know that movie. Maybe it has a character named Jesus. I'm just going to assume he's not talking about Jesus. You know. So anyway, moving along. And then Sean Goode says, or his S-word sister's F campaigns in college. What? Whose sister? And what's an F campaign? I didn't go on any of those. Anyway, Sean Goode then says, haha, made it up. I assume she was an S-word. She dated Redacted for many years. Okay? And then Sean Goode says, I'll give you Redacted. You always need a S-word piece. Then Goode says, not looking for a challenge. I like S-words. Then he says, Sean Goode says, nothing like S-word Dedham and Hyde Park chicks serving us wings. All Hooters are closed in Massachusetts, by the way, so how about them apples? Then Sean Goode says, all-time S-word. Then Sean Goode says, upgrade with Redacted. But Redacted and Redacted are a toss-up, and you Redacted are like the same person, except she is a little more of an S-word. Upgrade with blank, but blank and blank are a toss-up, and you blank are like the same person. Upgrade with blank. Upgrade with Redacted. But Redacted and Redacted are a toss-up, and you Redacted are like the same person. Except she is a little more of an S-word. What? That's hinting at something odd. Then Goode says, blank is just mad that her entire existence she has been used as moral gear. They weren't being racist, they just don't respect S-words. Then Sean Goode says, and 6 was an S-word I could get down with. And then Sean Goode says, what a piece of S-word this little C-word is. Then Sean Goode says, Jesus, every girl will want a brain tumor, multiple sclerosis, and colitis if you can look like that in yoga pants after killing your boyfriend. He was talking about Karen there. Then Sean Goode says, just had a woman tell me that I caused her family so much pain and anguish for what I did to her son. She then walks away from me. Her husband comes over and tells me I was the one that found their son and his friends drinking in public in the McDonald's parking lot at 6 p.m. back in November. So apparently it's my fault your son and his friends are complete idiots and can't hide it. And I didn't do anything when I found them. All I did was have their parents come and pick them up. Told them that the school resource officer will review the report and it's out of my hands. If I was caught back in high school, my father would have killed me and thanked the police. Fat C-word. Okay. Sean Goode says the last one was a real C-word. Then Sean Goode says, did I tell you guys how Redacted came up to me at blank field day? to talk small talk with her husband, and all of a sudden she says, "You must be working a lot of details." And I go, "Not really. Why?" She goes, "Oh, I saw your new truck." My response was, "Gotta go, blank, bye. Effing C word. If parents weren't around, I would have said, you could have that truck if your husband didn't snort and or gamble your inheritance away." Well. Somebody in Canton, listen. Canton is gonna be wild tonight. I would love to be in one of those bars. I am sure people are losing their mind about some of this, because you can tell that, like, people can figure out who this is. It's not that I can't, because I'm not from Canton, but somebody from Canton would be like, "Oh, bro, remember when he got the new truck? Where would he have been? Oh, like, what event was that day? Oh, who would have talked to Sean Goode? Oh, somebody should probably tell her, like, he ran his mouth big time." That's what I'm saying. So, anyway, get more ProctorGate Canton drama incoming. Listen, you think that the drama that we've seen over the past years about these cases has been made? Wait till you see the real life implications. These people actually are still around. Some of them probably have a lot of power. Some of them are probably not going to be very happy about this. And if you make the wrong people, made, you become the fall guy. That's how it works. It's America. I don't love it, though interpretable. It is not normal, I agree. I don't love it. I don't hate it. It's just the American system. If you make the wrong person made, or the wrong, like, very powerful people made, you don't get no cover no more. Then Sean Goode says, "If blank would let me see your cans and actually take a photo of them, I would send them. We are family here." He's talking about taking a picture of his wife's exposed, nudes, and sending them to his buddies. That's disturbing. He clearly wouldn't have told his wife. Sergeant Goode, next section, F. Sergeant Goode authored text messages containing sensitive police information to the acquaintance groups, or admits to conduct that may be considered unbecoming of a police officer. The following messages were authored by Sergeant Goode. "I was on a detail till 2:30 and couldn't sleep through the heavy rain. 2. I love rain when in bed, but not on my cruiser hood and roof. Way too loud. 3. Yep, a couple of years ago we had an amended robbery, probably armed, on 138, and the description came out. It was blank, and we stopped them in Stoughton, but we didn't have any evidence, but it was them. I had blank in cuffs on the ground crying." And then he said, "All right, boys, I'm going to try and keep party boys informed of the Gong Show tonight. Getting deployed to Quincy at 4 p.m. to start. I know it's a Tuesday night, but tell your parents and wives, don't go out shopping tonight to Westwood Station or Cobb's Corner. No intel, but it was crazy quite last night in town. But Braintree, Natick, and Rentham with MSP and other locals chased convoys of cars all night out of town. Then they arrived in Providence, and they got bottlenecked in front of the Providence Place Mall, and the cops gassed the F out of them and arrested over 60. Then Sean Goode says, "Party boys, sobriety checkpoint on 138 by the trail side tonight. Please stay away tonight. Can't help if you get caught. Too many troopers in Milton PD." Then Sean Goode says, "I think you should have to bribe us with gifts and beer." Then Sergeant Goode shares an RMV photo of a young man he pulled over, describes him as a tub of S-word, explains he couldn't give him a ticket because God already effed him up for life, referring to the man's image, and says he was guilty of driving fat and ugly. Sergeant Goode runs license plates for blank of a girl that works at his job, referred to as 25-year-old Smoke. Sergeant Goode runs license plates for blank, states he's a nobody. And then he says, Sergeant Goode says, I can't wait to look this C-word up tonight at work. All right. Yikes. Well, cops in Massachusetts are abusing their databases to look up smoke shows who work with their buddies. This per the new Sean Goode ProctorGate messages released today. Source page. We're pretty much done, by the way. This took a long time. This was a very unpleasant document to read. We've read some bad stuff. Mostly previews of how bad it was going to get. But yeah, this is bad. This is going to take years to unwind and figure out and unpack and look through and discern. Woe is me for thinking that I would just be watching the World Cup today. Woe is a little town. When the months come, they just keep coming. I agree, C-Star. It is horrifying. Translator Interpretal is like, well, outside of Sean Goode's use, smoke show is a term that should come back. It does have a use in the vernacular, but it refers these days to doing burnouts in the middle of intersections. Why? I don't know. Because there's a lot of smoke, I suppose. Thank you, C-Star. Thank you, Aaron and Classic Clippy. And in Limonene, hello, my dear friend. It's so good to see you. And Tao Mom Bunny. God bless all you for sticking around through this intense document. Hello, Pick a Handle. Thank you for being you. You're wonderful, my friend. Throughout April and May of 2026, Town Council remained in contact with Counsel for Sergeant Goode to discuss the scope of the investigation, preliminarily review portions of the data in question, and ultimately coordinate an investigatory interview, which was scheduled for May 27, 2027. 2027? I think that's a typo. I highly doubt they were going to interview him next year. I think this is a typo. On May 22nd, 2026, Sergeant Goode was issued a notice to appear for his investigatory interview. Yep, I'm right. It's just a typo. The letter advised Sergeant Goode of the following. Quote, I have set aside time to meet with you for an investigatory interview Wednesday, May 27, 2026 at 9:30 a.m. via an in-person interview at the law offices of Clifford & Kenny, LLP. The interview shall be administrative in nature only. Its purpose will be to discover facts and offer you an opportunity to explain events and or conduct as it relates to the allegations presented to the town. As an employee of the town, you are required to cooperate with this investigation. On May 27, 2026, Town Council was notified by Counsel for Sergeant Goode that he was refusing to appear for his scheduled investigatory interview. On May 29, 2026, Sergeant Goode submitted his resignation to the town. We're back. There was a little frame drop. So, if you missed that, Sergeant Sean Goode said, Dear Chief Daniels, in his resignation letter, please accept this letter as irrevocable notice of my resignation for the purpose of retirement, effective Tuesday, June 2nd, 2026. Very truly yours, Sergeant Sean Goode. Retirement. Conclusion. Based on the findings above, prior to Goode's resignation and scheduled Canton Police Department investigatory interview, this investigator finds that there is sufficient credible evidence that Goode, while serving as a Canton police officer, violated several Canton Police Department rules and regulation, policies, and procedures, including the following. Policy 417, unlawful harassment, discrimination. There is sufficient credible evidence that Sergeant Goode engaged in conduct in violation of the department's policy against unlawful discrimination and harassment. Sexual harassment. Policy 4.17 offers the following as an example of conduct that constitutes sexual harassment. Sexual epithets, jokes, written or oral references to sexual conduct, gossip regarding one's sex life, comment on an individual's body, comment about an individual's sexual activity, deficiencies, or prowess. 2. Unlawful harassment. Policy 4.17 offers the following as an example of conduct that constitutes sexual harassment. Slurs or other derogatory comments, objects, pictures, cartoons, or demeaning gestures connected to one's membership in a protected group. Further, the policy states the following about protected groups. protected groups. In addition, all employees are protected from harassment on the basis of their race, color, religion, national origin, ancestry, sex, gender, identity, age, handicap, disability, participation in discrimination complaint-related activities, sexual orientation, genetics, or active military or veteran status. Supervisor's responsibility. Policy 4.17 provides additional duties to supervisors, including sergeants. No supervisor in charge of a workplace shall permit any form of harassment, sexual harassment, or discrimination to be directed at any employee in the workplace by any vendor, customer, member of the public, or any person present in the workplace. There is sufficient credible evidence that Sergeant Goode engaged in conduct in violation of the Department's Policy 4.28 regarding conduct unbecoming an officer. 4.28 Professional Conduct, Section B, Privacy and Off-Duty Conduct states in part, the Department has a legitimate interest in preserving its public image of trust and respect, and employees' off-duty personal relationships should not be allowed to bring discredit to the employee or department, affect the employee's ability to perform their job, or result in poor job performance. Policy 4.28, Professional Conduct, Section C, Conduct Unbecoming an Officer, states in part, employees shall conduct themselves at all times, both on and off duty, in such a manner as to reflect most favorably on the department and its members. Conduct unbecoming shall include that which tends to indicate that the employee is unable or unfit to continue as a member of the department, or tends to impair the operation, morale, integrity, reputation, or effectiveness of the department or its members. Policy 4.28, Professional Conduct, Section 7, Insubordination. Employees shall not be insubordinate. Insubordination shall include any failure or deliberate refusal to obey a lawful order, written or oral, given by a superior or officer, or as otherwise specified above. Shall also include any disrespectful, munitions, insolent, or abusive language or action towards a supervisor, whether in or out of the presence of the superior. So I think that has to do with him not going to the investigatory interview. Code of Conduct. There's sufficient credible evidence that Sergeant Goode engaged in conduct in violation of the Department's Code of Conduct, Policy 4.11, Conduct Unbecoming an Officer. Code of Conduct, Section 26.03, Subsection 5, Prohibited Conduct, Conduct Unbecoming an Officer states in part, Conduct Unbecoming an Officer. The omission of any required act or the commission of any specific act or acts of immoral, improper, disorderly, or intemperate personal conduct, or any action or inaction which reflects discredit upon the officer, him, herself, upon his or fellow officers, upon the department, or upon the town. Policy 4.12, Mobile Data Access. There is sufficient credible evidence that Sergeant Goode engaged in conduct in violation of the Department's policy for mobile data access. Policy 4.12, Mobile Data Terminals, Section 13, Mobile Data Access states in part, misuse of the LEAPS NCIC computer may result in the Criminal History Systems Board disconnecting the department from the system. Unauthorized transactions and tampering with the hardware or software on this system is forbidden and will result in harsh disciplinary action. Department Rules and Regulation Manual. There is sufficient credible evidence that Sergeant Goode engaged in conduct in violations of the Department Rules and Regulation as they relate to conduct unbecoming an officer, insubordination, and dissemination of official information. 1. Department Rules and Regulations, Manual 4, Prohibited Conduct, Section 4.1, Conduct Unbecoming an Officer states, the commission of any act or acts of immoral, improper, disorderly, or intemperate personal conduct, we already read that. Insubordination states shall willfully observe and obey the lawful verbal and written rules. Sergeant Goode was noticed to attend a required investigatory interview and failed to attend. This constitutes a separate charge of insubordination unrelated to the text messages reviewed. Additionally, where Sergeant Goode failed to answer questions regarding the allegations against him, the town may draw a negative inference with respect to the allegations related to the contents of his text messages with group chats. Department Rules and Regulations Manual 4, Prohibited Conduct, Section 4.16, Dissemination, Official Information Dissemination of, subsection 4.16.1 states in part, information regarding official business shall be disseminated only to those for whom it is intended in accordance with established departmental procedures. Recommendation. While the several serious rules and policy violations found here would generally lead to a recommendation of discipline up to and including termination, Sergeant Goode resigned from employment with the town on June 2nd, 2026. As such, no further action is required beyond this disposition being reported to the Peace Officers Safety and Training Commission. Yeah, how's that? No further action required by the town. How nice of that investigator. How nice of Sean Goode to retire. He should retire or this is going to become, what do they call it, an incident. Anyway, my name's Grant Smith Ellis. That was wild. God bless all of you. Kitty Coco and Classic Clip It and Tiffany Bob and It's Me Bunny Towel. That was intense. It was a lot. We did it. Thank you all for your support of Towel Channel. I literally thought I was going to be able to read that in 30 minutes and then watch the World Cup game with Towel Girlfriend. I promise you. I said, I can get this done by 4:30. It's 7:15. It took us 3.5 hours. My brain, it's broken. Alright? We'll come back maybe tomorrow. Depends on the heat. I really want to take some time away. I don't know when it's supposed to start heating up. Probably Wednesday into Thursday. But it's supposed to get really brutal. There are some other updates. Obviously, I mentioned there's going to be a hearing Wednesday at 3 p.m. Don't miss it. It's in person only at Plymouth Superior Court. Something's going on in that civil case. But my name is Grant Smith Ellis. Thank you for watching Towel News. If you want to support this channel, there's donation links in the description. I'll try to drop them in the chat. There's different ways to help Towel. If you don't have a Cash App, you can actually sign up for Cash App. If you send $5 to someone, anyone, even me, then you get $5 and then I get $30. It's a great way to help us both. I did a poll. Who do you think was investigating Michael Proctor in the fall of 2025? 77% of the 162 of you who voted said the feds, clearly. 8% of you said the state of Massachusetts. 9% of you said the goats. And 6% of you said the aliens. Towel Mom Buddy, have a great time at the fair. Kofi, I hope you have a great night. You're wonderful. Bo, I hope you have a good time at the fair. You're all wonderful. Jen's dog, Jonah, my pleasure. God bless you. It's so good to see you. Interpret Towel, we did it indeed. It was a tough one. God bless you. Thank you for being with us. But yes, this is Pete Bunny Towel. He's a channel mascot. I just wanted to let you know. Yes, Bunny Towel Mom saw Pete Bunny. Francine is going to love it. She loves her friend, Pete Bunny Towel. So I like to do the American presidents before I get out of here. All right. As I mentioned, if you want to support the stream, there's Cash App, money sign Grant Smith Ellis, is Venmo at Granty1, paypal.me/Grant Ellis. Thank you to everyone who donated and supported Towel Channel today and set memberships. God bless you all. There's a Discord as well. Click the link in the chat. Towel Mom Bunny's always keeping that updated. God bless you as well for that. All right. Now, here's the presidents. We call this Tippecanoe and Tyler 2. Shout out Triple Bob. I test my mental acuity by listing the presidents, as many as I can at the end of the stream. So, you got Mr. George Washington, President Washington. Then you got President Adams. Then you got President Jefferson. Then you got President Madison. Then you got President Monroe. Then you got President Adams Jr. Then you got President Jackson. Then you got President Van Buren. Then it gets a little tough in there. There's like William Henry Harrison. And then I have to memorize this part because it turns out that you get Polk and Taylor, okay, and then you get 13, which is Millard Fillmore, and then you pick up on Pierce Buchanan, Lincoln, Johnson, Grant, Rutherford B. Hayes, Garfield, Chester A. Arthur, Cleveland, Harrison, Cleveland, McKinley, Teddy Roosevelt, William Howard Taft, Woodrow Wilson, Hardy, Coolidge, Hoover, FDR, Truman, Eisenhower, Kennedy, Johnson, Nixon, Ford, Carter, Reagan, Bush 1, Clinton, Bush 2, Obama, Trump, Biden, Trump. There you go. We did it quick tonight. Anyway, the goal of this public information service is to educate, inform, and entertain the wider public. 20% entertainment to buffer your brain from trauma. 40% information, 40% education. You can find more from me, youtube.com/@GrantSmithEllis, and I strive to engender culture public discourse, such as to ward off the usurpation of our representative Forbes of government worldwide. Hashtag shout out Triple Bob. He heard Tippecanoe. You're the best. So in that regard, thank you again for watching Towel News tonight and for all your support. I like to end on a traditional note. If you want to pay it forward, if you learned something today, even among the intensity of this document, if you want to pay it forward, do consider doing a small act of service and kindness for those around you. You could consider donating to our homeless military veterans or service members if they are out there. There should not be a single homeless vet or service member against their will in the United States of America, or we have failed, ladies and gentlemen. We can help them. Consider a donation to our homeless vets or service members or their families today. God bless you all. Now, what if you like our fur friends? Pete Bunny Towel is not an animal, but he loves our fur friends. You may consider a donation to animal shelters run by or that help our military veterans or service members. Great way to help our fur friends. Great way to help our veterans and service members. If you can't find such an animal shelter, you may consider a donation to an animal shelter run by, just in general, by anyone. Great way to help our fur friends. If you're in the UK, do consider a donation to the Big Issue. Great way to help populations experiencing homelessness in the UK. But it doesn't have to be a donation. It can be something as simple as smiling at someone on the street, reaching out to a friend or family member you haven't heard from in a while, or yes, even giving away 200 tomato plants like Francis Rutrell did one time and having the designated honorary towels during the outro forevermore. As you can tell, I'm quite tired, but in that way, may we continue to pray the current realpolitik continues to shift from one centered on preserving, expanding, and demonstrating our power to instead one centered on preserving, expanding, and demonstrating our capacity to engage in small acts of service and kindness rooted in unconditional love. Therein allowing us to live up to our tal eudaimonia, or summum bonum, our greatest good in the ancient Greek or Latin respectively, and therein bringing about a new digital epoch defined by Aquarius the water bearer, standing tall and carrying the towel. I heard Ray from Dallas is doing an interview with Turtle Boy tonight. Do consider checking it out. God bless you all. Thank you for watching with me today. Thank you for being you. Thank you for staying informed. Who knows where this will go going forward. I personally want to get some rest. I hope you all, whether it's the daytime, the evening, or the afternoon, enjoy the rest of your Tuesday. Is that what it is? Yes. It might be Monday. I think it's Tuesday. It is Monday, June 29th, 2026 at 7:23 p.m. here in Boston. That would make it, let's see, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1:23 a.m. in South Africa, 2:23 a.m. in Tel Aviv, Israel, and 2:53 a.m. in Tehran, Iran. That would be Tuesday, June 30th, 2026. Good night. Thank you all for being you, Marcia and Francine and Tiffany Bob and Kitty Coco and Triplet Bob and Tal Mom Bunny and who else was in here with us? And I saw Jen's dog Jonah in there, and Tiffany Bob again, and Interpretal, and Classic Clippy, and Pick a Handle, and Aaron, and Sea Star, and Limonene. All of you are wonderful. Thank you for being you. God bless you all. Have a great rest of your day. Pick a Handle, you as well. Mishigama, thank you for being here. You're all so wonderful. I really appreciate spending this time with you. Have a great rest of your day. God bless you. Signing off for now from Towel News. My name is Grant Smith Ellis with Pete Bunny. We both adore you. We love you all very much. Good night. God bless.